juice ice. I think it's like 400
very
stocks left.
pineapple-y.
It's good.
I think it's going to be empty by the end of this.
Yeah.
So how have you been? What have you been up to?
Man, I've been good. I've just been
Sojourn.
I've just been working, making music, and focusing on my health.
That's really good.
Yeah,
How do you focus on your health?
So I've started intermittent fasting again, and running, and dieting, and just really like I've started these. Have you heard of Viable? That like. No. This isn't a plug, by the way. Yeah. Sort of is. You know Viable? It's like they make these customized vitamin packs for you based on what you want.
For you.
Yeah, like I answered a survey. I think a doctor sort of, well, like someone who's in that sector sort of looks at it and goes, okay, you need this, and then it comes in like
interesting.
And it comes in a little plastic packet. So all I have to do after breakfast is I just rip it open and have like 8 pills every day.
It's crazy.
It's sick.
It's specifically designed for you.
For me. And honestly, it's been a week and I feel it now. It takes a while, I think, for the things to kick in. And now it's just like, I just feel so like good all the time. Yeah. Plus the intermittent fasting, it's just like this whole energy bundle. It's hell nice. So yeah.
Yeah, wow. Nice, man.
It's been good. But yeah, besides that, sort of just finishing up on music, we've got... what's that? We've got like 2 songs fully finished now, locked up, and I've probably started another 3 with Matt.
Yeah, wow.
For those who don't know, Matt's like my partner in crime at the moment in music. He's like a amazing guitarist.
Yeah, like so insightful in terms of like music theory stuff.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah, he's got salad fingers like a madman.
Yeah,
on the guitar. Shout out to Matt. Yeah,
shout out to Matt.
One thing I was interested to talk to you about is your relationship with Nick Littlemore. How did that start?
So that was interesting. It was probably a year and a half ago now. I'm at home. I'm going through a period where I was like not wanting to make music with anyone purely because I wanted to just focus on my music. And I feel like when you collab with people, I at least thought back then, I was like, oh, it's like negative. I had a negative connotation around it. Honestly, woke up on the right side of the bed and I had a message from his private account. At the time, I had no idea who he was. I knew Empire of the Sun. I knew Panau. And I just was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. So I was like to him, yeah, I'm down. So he messaged me. He found my song Overboard on Triple J Unearthed.
That's a good song, man.
Thank you.
It's nice.
And he ended up, he was just like, his message was so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Neutral. It was like, oh, I like this song. Just want to let you know I'm down to make some music with you. All good if not. And that's all he said. No like name dropping of who he was. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking down. Like, let's do it. Who are you? And he's just like,
yeah, honestly, I had no idea. Like, I've never seen him before.
And he's just like, he's like, yeah, like, you know, I've made a few songs and stuff. I'm like, what's your name on like Spotify? And he's just like, oh, you know, like Empire of the Sun, Panau. And I just lose my shit.
What?
It's like lose my shit for like 20 minutes.
What, so you're going to make like an EDM track or like a electronic
track?
Or?
So we've got it coming out next month. But I'll get to that. So long story short, I'm like, FaceTime me. Like, cause I'm like so convinced it's not him.
Yeah.
And then he FaceTimes me and he's just this hell nice dude. And I was like, sick. So then 2 months past that meeting, we've made a song, Connor Lawson and me and him sort of make this EDM track. Don't know about it for a year. We sort of just like made it, forgot about it. I continued my thing. I did a few shows with Spacey Jane. That was probably the next big thing that happened. Zach was actually playing in my band at the time.
Yes, sir.
The bassist, the slapper bass. And then I go to Sydney and I make another track with him. And this was about 2 months ago. And that was when it got sick because working with professionals of that level, being like, I'm 22, I've been doing music maybe for 2 years now. I'm just scratching the surface of like my actual career. To get that experience on your belt at this age and this part of your career is so good because you get to learn. You're like, shit, this is how these guys operate. Like it was like 2 4-hour sessions with like an hour break because one of the dudes had to go pick up his kid and it was just nonstop work. And I was just like, fuck, this
is it his studio?
I think it's his friend's studio.
Yeah, right.
I'm not too sure about that.
Wow, that's crazy.
But yeah, we ended up making this sick EDM track and we're actually dropping it next month. So that's going to be a part of like an EP they're dropping, and then that's the focus track. So that should get a lot of movement. So I'm excited. I'm just sort of relaxing.
You're on the
until now.
you're on the runway, man. It sounds like that's
Yeah,
good.
well,
That's
hopefully.
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, you want to not really put your eggs in all
Sure.
in one basket. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not happened,
Mm.
and I'm focusing on my stuff. But then it's just exciting to see like what's going to happen from this song, and then what comes from it. Because hopefully, the right artists see that and they're like, "Oh, I want to work with you," but I'm not an EDM artist, but I've now become one. So you never know as well. Could you get painted with that broad brush of like, oh, you're the EDM guy? It's
Yeah,
like,
you get
no,
boxed
like,
in.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm actually like I want to sing like Daniel Caesar. Like,
Yeah, versatile. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that that's an important thing to do as an up and coming artist, is to make sure you have a like a taste palette of all your potential things, and then see what the audience likes best,
Yeah.
and then kind of go with that. So is that kind of what your thought pattern is there?
no, not really. Like, as much as it's about the people, it's really about me as well. Like, this is I look at life as it's like my life, and I want to make sure that I'm having a good time, and I'd never want to be at a point where I'm making music for other people. Like, I need to enjoy what I'm making and then share it with the world. And if the world likes it and people like it, that's sick. If they don't, that sucks. Like, you know, because I'm also at uni as well. I want to be hopefully a psychiatrist one day, maybe, or a psychologist. Actually was just on the phone at UWA on the way here.
Really?
Yeah, sorting out this semester coming. So
Yeah.
music. But that's the thing about music. It's just like, I don't think it can be wrong or right. It's vibrations at the end of the day. It's literally sound. And something that gets me about making music is sometimes I feel like people can get a little too caught up in it. Like this needs to be like this, needs to be like that. It's
Yeah,
like,
they're acting like they're curing cancer or something.
yeah,
like
it's
that.
like it's not a formula. It's like
Yeah.
it's a vibe.
Mm.
And that's what doing that stuff with Nick taught me in Sydney. Was when we created that song, it was very chill. It was in the moment, and the product is amazing. Now that product comes to fruition, from his skill, obviously. He's like been making music for 30 odd years. So obviously that's a huge benefit. But the fact that we started with nothing, and it was just this vibe, and he was just like, write these lyrics. Like, what do you feel? Like, let's write it about this. And
So he's a pretty chill person to be making music with. Is that sort of his...
he's
his
chill,
style?
but they
Yeah.
work hard,
Yeah,
which is
okay.
the main thing I learned. Like
Yeah.
they work, like we worked hard. I was like, at one point, I remember I was like, yo, like, I think I'm fucking up my voice here. And he was like, dude, you're fine. Like, just keep hitting it.
Just keep doing it.
100
Keep
takes. Like, we did like 100 takes for each line, minimum, I reckon.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, watching the Defiant ones. Has anyone seen that?
No.
Oh, Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine.
Yeah. And Jimmy's work ethic, like he was telling the story of how him and Bruce Springsteen made, is it Born in America or something like that?
Not sure.
Yeah, something like that. But just the process and it made you realize, holy shit, these guys work fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I guess the stereotype of a musician is that you like party a lot and you get like a lot of music and whatever. But in the studio, it's work time. That's what you have to do. And they put in the hours, they made some fucking good music.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially when you like, I guess when you're at a professional studio as well, it's costing you or whoever's paying for it a shitload of money.
Yeah.
As well, so you've also got that element of it. You just really need to be putting your head down and
feel
getting
like-
as much work done as possible.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a bit of a taboo area because let's say you were operating in here and you've become a renowned artist or a renowned producer. Same workspace, same place that I made Psycho with you for free. All of a sudden now someone has to pay you 10K. But if I know you and I bring an artist in, then to them they're like, fuck man, this is probably costing like $1,000 an hour. But really it's like me and you, we've just been like, let's just get this guy in.
Yeah.
So I think that's a whole another thing is like music's very relationship based. So it's sort of like who you know really matters. Yeah.
So do you reckon the Perth scene has supported you a lot? Yeah, what's your opinions on the
I don't
Perth
think
music scene?
I've actually done anything here to really warrant that conversation yet. Because it's like we played like 20 shows last year or something like that. I got playlisted and then I sort of just eased off because I sort of took a step back and looked at what I was doing. And I was like, okay, there's some good potential here. I want to do this properly. I don't want to do it rushed. And that's why I sort of have disappeared. I think I was at 10,000 monthlies on Spotify and I'm down to 250, which I'm fine with because I'm like, that was more of a test run for me. Whereas now I'm actually looking at it properly, trying to build a team and actually make this work. So I think as far as support, I've made a lot of friends this year, not really to do with my music, but more to do with just meeting people and they support me. So yeah, it'd be interesting to have this conversation again in like maybe a year in terms of how does Perth support my music? Because we've got a lot going on here, but you sort of have to tap into it.
Yeah, right, it's good because you're not just doing music though, right? You do modeling, you do all different kinds of stuff as well. So sort of the team that you're talking about, you're sort of building a team that helps facilitate everything.
Yeah, so modeling's a big one that I want to get into because I've always loved like the arts of side of it. And then acting's a huge one that I'm starting to tap into.
Acting, yes.
Yeah.
So you know, he was in a Gage Roads beer ad.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I actually didn't even know they released.
interesting.
I didn't even know they released any of the stuff. My friend actually showed me it like 2 weeks ago. They just posted it all already, and I was like, "Oh, what the fuck? Like, where's my tag?" But they don't even. It's not even about the tag. It's more like I didn't actually think we used it, but we ended up using it. But yeah, that was interesting. We just did this like day shoot campaign for Gage Roads.
Yeah. And Made in the Pile does their socials and all their marketing for them. Hey,
Who's that? Sorry.
Made in the Pile, they're a marketing agency I used to intern with.
Is it Coops?
I think so. Yeah.
Coops, one of the guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Coops and his friend, I forgot his name. Sorry, man. Yeah, they're cool. They're super cool to work with.
Nice.
They've got the coolest. What's his name? Has the coolest dog. It's like this little thing. Its leg to body ratio is fucked. So it's so quick.
Yeah, that thing used to chase me around the office. I'd be like trying to make a coffee and it'd be like gnawing at me. But it was cute though.
When you used to work there.
Yeah. Well, intern, yeah.
Can I hit that?
Yeah, hit it, please.
I've come so close, like so many times where I've just been like, I just need to get a vape. And I just have never done it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a bit of a black hole to be honest, but
These are the best
damn,
brands.
it's tasty.
I guess they're the best brands.
Are they refillable or are they the ones that you just chuck out?
No, I had the refillable one, but then I was dancing at the Bird and there was like a mosh pit and then it somehow just like flew out of my pocket and just went. And that was like my
the black
third
one?
vape in like 2 weeks that I'd lost. And I was just, okay, I'm just going to... I actually dreamt that I found it. And I woke up really happy. I looked in my drawer and it wasn't there. I was like, holy shit.
That's fucking weird, man. Dreams are weird. I had a dream this morning. I woke up at 4:30, like to go to work. I work at a cafe and shit. I had a dream that I woke up and I was like, fuck this. And I've just messaged my manager and called her and been like, I'm not fucking coming in today. Like, I'm fucking done. And I woke up and I was like, what? Did I just like, I was like, what's going on? And then I like checked the time and I was like, that was the weirdest dream because it was realistic. It was like nothing was out of the ordinary. I woke up, I was like, fuck this, I'm not going to work today. And then I woke up and I was like, yes, I'm not going to work. And I was like, wait a minute, it's 4:30. Like none of this happened. I still need to go to work. It was just the most depressing train ride. I was just like, oh.
God damn it.
Yeah.
No, I had a nightmare last night that I fucked up this shoot I was doing today. Like I just, because there's so much that you got to do when you're doing a shoot. There's all these like buttons you got to press and shit. And
Is
then,
this for Dear Storyteller?
Yeah, for Dear Storyteller, their podcast. And then, 10 minutes into the shoot, I realized I hadn't like moved their sound up. So there wasn't any sound recording. I was like, holy shit, my nightmare came true. It's like I had the premonition and I didn't even do anything about it. Fuck.
Yeah, that would suck. Weren't you saying a couple of weeks ago that you like forgot to turn on the cameras or something?
Look, there's a lot of buttons, and no, they've got like this road recorder as well. And green means stop, and red means go. And I don't know who the fuck's doing coloring, but like, you know, I'm pretty sure all around the world green means go, man. So yeah.
Wait, so green means stop?
Yes, green
That's
is not
fucked up.
recording.
So
That's like
fucked
that's
up.
just that's asking for.
That's
a
like
problem.
red light, green light in a dystopian reality. It's the other way around. And then like so many people are being harassed.
Death and destruction.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Damn.
Oh man. Yeah, I had a pretty funny run in at work recently. Actually, I had a dude. Like try to fight me. Yeah, you saw that video. Hey?
What?
I know where it's going.
Oh man. So like this guy, like I see a lot of cracky shit at work because it's
You work in
like
the city?
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
the train station. It's like my bakery's right in front of like Central train station, which is like the Midland line and stuff. For anyone living out there, I don't think it's a bad area. I just think,
There are some people that
It's also Perth.
yeah, like I don't know, that train line accumulates more crackheads. It's just it is what it is. and this dude is just insulting this woman. So like a bit of backstory, I've walked into work, it's 12 p.m. It's probably 12:02. I've been at work for 2 minutes. Literally just like getting into the work thing. And there's this dude and he's just abusing this woman. And he's not just abusing her. He's like, yeah, serve that piece of shit first. And I'm like, what? And he's just like, yeah, that fucking piece of shit. And she's just like standing there just like trying to pay for her food and just ignoring this guy. No one said anything and I was like, yo, dude. And it sort of came off a bit wrong, I guess. But I was like, yo, dude, you can fuck off. I'm not going to serve you. And that was probably my fault for swearing. But I was just like not okay with that. And then he's like, what? And I was like, I said, I'm not going to serve you, so you can leave. And he was just like, well, why don't you come out here and say that to me? And this dude's like this tall on me. And I was just like, dude, just go away.
Have you got the video?
I do actually.
Could you send it to Leo?
Yeah.
Put it up, we'll show Shaq.
Oh my God.
So,
funny, bro.
Yeah, I end up telling this dude, man, to pretty much just like leave. And then he like walks away and then he comes back. And then when he comes back, he's just like going at me again. And I was just straight up to him. I was like, dude, look at the size of you and look at the size of me. I was like, you do not want to fight me. And then he's like, he's like, no. No, he's like, oh, fuck you. And comes inside and tries to jump the counter.
Oh my God.
And I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, don't do this.
Are you filming this?
I got the CCTV footage.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all on film.
How do
bro.
I send it to you?
It's all on film.
Should I send it to your Facebook?
Yeah, I'll send it to Leo.
All right.
It's so funny because like it's interesting watching you because you were like you didn't use excessive force. You were sort of just like building up until it got to the point where Rami was just like fuck you, and
He
like
just
he
jumped.
tries to jump the counter and Rami just full shoves him off and he doesn't like land on his feet. He like just lands.
Dude, the thud
On
was
his
so
side.
brutal. And yeah, this guy's tooth falls out.
Oh.
Like no, he had like a fake tooth.
Oh, okay,
And
thank
as he's
God, yeah.
screaming at me, trying to jump.
Ah.
So the funny thing is, he swings at me and hits the bread, and that's when I was like, this guy's so aggressive, and I was like, can you please like fuck off? And he's like, bro, leaving, and he's like, why don't you come out here and say that? And I was like, look at the size of me, look at the size of you, like
sent it to
you don't want to fight me.
Yeah.
And then he sort of like ego deaths, and you can see him in the video. He walks back, jumps the counter, loses a tooth. And he's like fully coming at me. And I have like co-workers that are like on my side. As much as I would have loved for him to come over, because I would have just been able to like beat him up. I don't like violence, one. And two, you're just like at work for 3 minutes at this point. You've got a whole 6.5 hours. I like push this guy off. He fucking thuds. He gets up and he's just like, yeah. He's like, watch you back. And walks off. And I was just like, fuck, man.
Damn.
Now I got some like dude. Like I forgot what he looks like, but he knows what I look like. He knows where I work.
He's coming for you.
He's probably coming for me, and I have to do the bin runs at night, and I have to do like.
He's probably going to see like a poster of you one day. If there's like ever a poster like Rami Perth show, he's going to get like a backstage pass.
No, I
just
reckon he'll
beat
just
me
claim
up.
it. He'll be like that guy fucked me up this one time.
Yeah.
The story's gonna go through Chinese whispers. Me and that guy fucked one time.
You fucked on some bread.
It's always the case. Like, we fucked at his bakery. He pushes hard, bro. That guy rammed me.
No. It's something that really irks me about our culture, especially like the hospitality side. Is you know they say the customer's always right. Like always be respectful, even though they're being a cunt. Like I've been clicked at, I've been yelled at.
Yeah, hospitality's brutal.
Like some, especially if you're working at like kind of like a yuppie joint as well. You have people say some pretty like friends have some pretty bad stories of that sort of stuff, but we're supposed to just take it. We're supposed to, take it on the chin and be like, yeah. But I don't even blame you for doing what you did because that was like quite a hectic moment. And that guy kind of needed to be told,
What was
not in a
up?
polite way,
Yeah.
like he needed to be told that what he was doing was wrong. So
like jumping the counter. Like
Well,
really?
When someone's jumping the counter, you sort of get all area access to just fuck them up.
no, you do.
You do. It's
Yeah,
literally like even in law, like that was he swings at me, I push him. If he wants to take it legally like further, I'm like, dude, I'm defending myself.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like you didn't use excessive. You sort of just built up. to the
Yeah,
point.
and in the video you can see me
It's
like we'll get it
interesting.
up. I'm like pointing.
And
I'm
you
like
can tell
stop.
you're, like,
I'm like
getting-
stop. And then once he gets halfway, I'm like, you hear me? I wish you could hear the audio. I'm like, I'm sorry, and I just push him. I said I'm sorry, and I pushed him because I like quickly realized the way he was on it. I was like, there's no way he's landing like easy from this. I was like, you're gonna eat shit. Like stop this. And he's so short, dude. He's like jumping on this counter.
He's probably had a hard life. I remember seeing a really similar video of this really short guy. He was legit like 4 foot, like fucking like 5 or some shit. And it was in New York City, and then he was having like a go at some woman for giving him a look. It's like, oh, all these women on dating sites, they say, oh, you're 5 foot nothing, like you're not worth a root or something like that. He's like, and they're allowed to talk to me like that? So like, you know, yeah. But then again, that's not an excusable. That's not an excuse.
Like, what is it, Napoleon
complex.
Yeah, when you just like
apparently it's actually a thing.
It's
though,
real.
I've never
bro.
heard of the Napoleon
100% real.
It's a
Because
full
Napoleon was like tiny as fuck, but he just felt like he needed to conquer the world.
What
he
kind
was
of
so
personality would have that cunt had where he was so tiny? Like, because this is still like back in the day, and he could still body people with his eyes and with his mind, even though he was so little. Because most of the people around him surely could have, you know, been like, fuck off.
Well, I think it's
shut
just
up.
power. That's the whole. That's the whole thing about politics. Is like you get people to, you sell them an agenda or whatever. They now feel like whether they're physically or like mentally bigger than you, you have something on them because you've got people, and it's sort of like, well, if he said I have to, you know, kill you, I'm gonna kill you because he'll get me killed, or I could just kill him, but then you would never think that because then he's gonna kill you. Like,
Well, exactly.
yeah. But back to the hospo thing though, I've never really adhered to like. I've had like 30 jobs in hospo in like my 7 years of doing hospo.
Yeah.
I like to work a job for 3 to 4 months and then I'll quit it and find a new one.
Have you ever been let go?
Let go? I think I got fired once.
I'm pretty sure you just do a job for like 2 months and then you're like, yep.
Yeah, well, they're dead end jobs. I find it very easy to get a job.
Yeah.
I've only ever really burnt bridges with 1 or 2 employers. So I've pretty much got like 20 or something jobs I could go back to. But the way I look at it is these are dead end jobs. I'm not looking at a career in this. It's very stimulating to work a job for 2 to 3 months. It's fresh. The hours go by quick. Once it passes that point, I find a new job because it's like I sort of trick myself into making the money. It's almost funner. It's easier to make money at a job where you're like learning because then before you know it, the shift is over. But I've never had that thing where it's like if someone disrespects me, and it's happened a few times, I'll tell them straight away what I think because we live in a country where we're allowed to do that. Like, this isn't my end all be all. Like, I don't need this job. You have no like, you're not allowed to, like, when people come in and sort of like disrespect me, I'll literally just be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah.
And sort of put them back in their place.
Well, yeah, and that's a good perspective to have, but a lot of people can't afford to have that perspective, especially if they think that they can't get a job as easy.
Yeah.
So they will have to cop.
Yeah, just have to cop it.
People on
yeah.
the
And I think what you were saying before, hospitality is just like a prime example of where that is just such an unfortunate position most people working in hospitality.
The
find
worst would
themselves
be a kebab shop attendant.
Oh, at like 4 in the morning.
Oh my god, they get. Shout out to the kebab joints.
No, they're the real fucking motherfuckers.
They're the real.
In
G's,
Northbridge, it would have been 2 years ago, before COVID. There's this place. I forgot what it's called. It's you know where Time Zone is in Northbridge.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about, and it's like to the right of it.
Yeah, he
likes the holy moly.
I forgot what it's called, but
They got the best bread.
he at like 3 o'clock in the morning one night, he'd like lock the doors with everybody in, and everybody's like a little bit freaking out because everybody's hell drunk, like eating kebab, like just wanting to go home. And he goes like, "Oh, all of you can now smoke now. It's all good." And he just let everybody start smoking cigarettes and shit in his kebab shop. It was pretty dope.
That's a healthcare violation.
Okay, we totally didn't give the location of that. They were trying to narrow down which place it was.
There's so many kebab shops. They'll never find it.
Damn.
They're going to find out who's got the best bread. We're having some issues with this video.
Yeah,
hang on.
Don't worry about it, man.
No, I've just got it.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
Have you ever worked in fast food, Rami?
Yeah, actually. I've worked at
Same.
Mad Mex. I've worked at Grilled. I've worked at Boost.
You worked at Grilled?
Zach, do me a
Oh,
favor.
the old pay gap.
Is sound turned up
Yes.
on the TV?
Fuck,
Yeah,
man.
it was great. It was a great time.
I was like
honestly,
2 months.
Sound up
I
on
wish
the
if I had
TV.
worked there for another 2 months, I would have been able to get on that whole case. Remember that big case that went down?
That was some of the most biggest bullshit I've ever experienced in my entire life. That was,
it was
so
fucked.
fucked up what they were doing.
Dude, they
It
were
was
paying me
honestly disgusting.
$16 an hour and I was like 20 years old or some shit. And my boss at the
horrendous.
time was, you know, if you see this, fuck you. She was the biggest bitch.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I actually I screen recorded it. It's a little hard to see on the second camera.
How's your
but
day going?
Yeah, that was a good tagline. Yeah, Zach, not gonna lie, they literally can't see shit on the camera. It's just a white
that's all right.
line.
It's just
but you guys can
for
see
our
it.
entertainment.
So this dude comes at me. I'm like,
So
fuck off,
fun.
dude.
Oh my god, man! Oh, you fucking blitzed him. Oh,
The reaction.
oh, that next story's perfect.
Yeah, I like how you you put that
Oh
face in.
no!
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're laughing or crying there, but I'm pretty sure it's a laugh.
I'm crying of laughter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was because I was just like, what the fuck, man? I'm just trying to make money. Like, fucking leave me alone, dude. This guy's got his own, like, fucked up complex, and he's just bringing it to me for like a minute, and I just get to, that's his world. Think about this guy's walking around somewhere. That's the shit he probably just does on a regular. Just has a problem with fucking everyone.
Probably.
Like,
Yeah.
no second thought. Just, I'm going to fight you. I will jump this counter to fight you.
Wait, can we talk shit about grilled for a bit? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
of
Because
course,
no,
go
I
for it.
just have some things to say.
I like grilled.
No, okay, it's some of the
The
food's
food's alright, but
yeah.
the behind the scenes.
Once you work there, you
Yeah.
realize how shit
Well,
those
it did go
burgers
down.
are.
Do you reckon I can get like
Just say
sued?
nothing as long as it's true. We have a defense to
Okay,
defamation.
well, it was okay. This is genuinely true.
You said nothing
It's-
bad so far.
Yeah, because they had the whole pay gap situation.
was real.
Going.
That was
Yeah,
real.
yeah, and that was real.
and they
then
keep people on
made-
traineeships to like,
Yeah, to pay you less.
It's bizarre.
And then you come out with like a Cert 3 in hospitality, which is
or in
literally
like burger flipping.
Like your first semester in TAFE in hospitality is a Cert 4, so you don't even like it's worthless. Anyway, so they use that excuse to pay you lower, and then there was a big thing in the news about we want like higher wages. This is bullshit. You should be able to like opt out of the traineeship program, and then they said, okay, so we're going to give everyone like a little. We're going to give everyone a vote if they want higher pay. And so we all had to go into the back room, and my boss told me that there was a hidden camera in there, so that you can't like fuck with this vote.
Really?
You're gonna put your piece of paper in here,
Fucking hell.
and then we're gonna vote if we want higher wages. And I just remember thinking like, who the fuck would vote against higher wages? Who would? It was just I don't know. This is pure speculation, but it felt like a tactic to save a bit more money off of us to delay the process.
Yeah,
a bit.
of course.
It just felt dodgy.
That's what I think that's the, look, in their defense, like, they're running a business.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I respect that.
And, you know,
Yeah.
obviously they're going to try save money where they can. Now, the whole ethical reasoning can come into it. And it's like, well, how much of your pie do you want to keep until you're greedy? And it's like, clearly in that case, they wanted the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I guess it would be a fine balance, but as soon as you start, you know, not meeting the expectations of your employees, like, they have every right to just fuck off and leave. So like, if you don't keep your employees happy, like,
I think a big
you're gonna
thing
get
about
into-
it was
into trouble.
the level that they really made you work. And it was sometimes a joke because you were literally like, I don't think I've worked harder in any hospo job than that.
Man,
It's
seriously.
really
Yeah.
that like hectic.
Well, no,
Dude,
and-
I
and-
used to
yeah.
get yeeted for not like going to a table and flipping a
Wow.
stick.
I feel
I've heard
like,
so
yeah.
many stories like this from grilled. I get grilled all the time, so maybe I should just like cut that shit out.
It's good, and it was. I made some close friends there, and
Yeah.
it was a good time. But then there was, I know, there's sort of like these mob tactics that they would use, where like the area managers were only 6 foot and taller, and really big dudes, and they were really intimidating. I used to be like making the chips because I was on some fucking chips, and then this massive guy would just come stand next to you, say nothing, and then just like stop you, grab a chip, break it open, smell it, taste it, and then just like stare at you in the eyes, and then I'd just be like, trembling, and then he'd just walk away, and I'd be like, I feel like I'm in The Sopranos right now. This
It's
is
like-
this is
Wow, that's
crazy.
weird,
It's
man.
like they've, yeah, but that, okay, so there's
Like
like,
Men in
But
Black.
it did make me work harder.
yeah, that's the thing. I remember breaking down their business model when I was working there, and it's super efficient because the way they do it is they will, for starters, if you get comfortable somewhere, they'll move you. So they moved me 3 times because I'm a very like people likable person, and I would just instantly get along with everyone. And managers would just be like, this guy's fucked. Because I would just be like, I'm not doing that. I'd do my job just enough so they couldn't get angry, but I'd also have a good time.
Yeah.
And then I feel like at Grilled, they wanted like their business model to be like paper to person. Just like your job is to do this as this, do it and don't do anything else. Whereas I would like, you know, maybe flirt with some of the customers or like I just, you know, I'd have
Put a finger in
fun.
everything, yeah.
you know,
Finger and everything.
taste everyone's food.
Oh man.
It's product, tasting the product.
My first serious job was at Hungry Jack's. I think I was like 15, like flipping burgers and stuff. And bro, in Carrington, you know, did HJ's there.
I did the Inaloo one.
Oh my god, man!
I did Banksia Grove
It was
for a bit.
atrocious. Like the extraction fans and stuff wouldn't work, so like all the meat would smoke up, and like the entire restaurant would just go smoky, and we were like forced to work and shit when your eyeballs were like bleeding from all the smoke.
You see, where's our power? Where's our power in that? It's like if that was
unionize.
But it's just like ridiculous. Like they make so much cheddar, dude. Like I'm like, you know, my ethnicity, I'm from Palestine and Turkey. Like I've seen what third world countries go through. They're so happy and they make nothing. You come over here, their profit margins are like fucking 80 times or something crazy. And yet they want to fuck you. They're trying to always find ways to cut corners and fuck you. And it's like, no, like you're fine. It's like, who the fuck's controlling this?
That makes your product worse, and it makes them treat their customers worse if they feel like they're being fucked. Like I remember, I've been in jobs. If I feel like I'm being respected, I come to work happier.
Yeah,
and I almost have more pride in my work, and I wanna, you know, chat shit with the customers, and I want to put in that extra bit of effort more than I need to because I feel like I'm being respected and I'm worth my time.
For sure.
You know? But yeah, I wanted to ask you. You said you're from half Turkish, half Palestinian.
Quarter Turkish, 3/4 Palestinian.
Okay, yes. So are you quite connected to your Palestinian culture then?
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of actually going there, I've been there once when I was 6 months, and then now it's just impossible to get there. I mean,
What do you mean impossible to get there?
well, they just don't let us in because I'm Palestinian. The whole politics.
Well, because
of
don't
it.
you need to get into Israel to be able to get into Palestine?
Yeah.
First,
It's like it's just
because it's like a little
fucked
area
up. It's
inside.
So like going back to 1948, I think if I'm correct, Palestine was just Palestine, and now I think we have like 5% of Palestine, and the
It's
rest
just
is
slowly
95%.
been shipped away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And my cousin actually tried to go 3 years ago, and he had a burner phone. He's obviously not like a terrorist or anything, but this is just what they profile us for. So he's lived his whole life in America. He's got an American passport, American citizenship. Left his Jordanian passport at home. Left his phone at home. Took a burner phone. They put him in isolated captivity. He like is an architect, so we actually sketched the cell he was in for 3 days. Took his phone off him. Went through all his social media. Went through everything. Questioned the fuck out of him. Sent him back to America. And that's just the shit we deal with. So it's just like
That's crazy.
they just think, I don't know, they've got this like, I wish I knew more about it. And I was like happy to actually talk about it today, but I don't want to because it's like I don't know enough about it to talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's such a nuanced topic. Like I was
Yeah.
watching this Vice documentary really recently that they made on the whole conflict and how they're like kicking Palestinians out of like the Israeli forces are kicking Palestinians out of their homes, and there was like this American Jewish dude
I've
who's
seen
just
that.
like
I've seen
living in
that,
the
yeah.
home.
I've seen that,
and they were
yeah.
questioning him like, why are you living in someone like the woman whose house she was kicked out of? Why are you living in my house? Get out of my house. He's like, sorry, this is my house. Like, I'm not really in this argument. And then the journalist is like, why are you here though? You haven't got any friends or family here. Why are you here? And it turns out this American company was like balls deep in with the Israeli government, and then bringing him over and sorting him out like with all these passports and all of these
It's just like
really
That-
weird.
the
And it's giving
abuse-
him the deed to the house.
the abused has become the abuser, and it's very obvious.
It's that's a common theme with history.
It is,
isn't it?
and
It
it's
is,
it's
yeah.
literally like replicative of like genocide, like literally it's genocide. Like they're literally so blunt with it. It's brutal, man. They're just like that. You see all the media. Thank fuck for media. Like there's pictures of people on the
Or
streets.
in particular, like independent sort of media.
Yeah,
instead of,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
mainstream sort of
Yeah, and
things,
fuck mainstream media. Fuck mainstream media. This will be mainstream media one day. So fuck
damn
you.
it. Yeah. Fuck us in the future.
No, but it's like, yeah, it's all fucked. Like I've got plans.
It's all fucked, yeah.
I've got plans to get there one day in my life.
Sure, yeah.
I'd really want to.
Well, fingers fucking crossed, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah. Hopefully it happens. But I think my goal is to sort of obviously get known. It's a bit hard to kill a famous person. Whereas if I went over there now, I could probably just get murked. And that's honestly just how I see it. And
Like,
whether
Tupac
someone wants to
would
be
be
like, oh, that's gaslighting, like that's not real. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't really care what you think. I've seen what I see. I've heard from family stories of what I've heard. Like my dad literally had to fucking flee from Nablus because he would have got killed. Like, so we've seen it and I felt it, and it's like, it's real. It's real. I think people don't want to accept that it's real, or will turn a blind eye to it because it's like, I'll just prefer to look at the ocean and, you know, enjoy my life.
Yep.
It's like, okay, that's fine.
What's the ex-Israeli president's name? Or was it president? Benjamin. Yeah, but no, didn't they oust him?
Yeah, they just ousted him. Yep.
They got sick of him and they were like, get out. So like, I think the whole
too much heat.
Yeah, the whole government situation in Israel is.
So you reckon some change might be coming?
I mean, potentially.
Yeah. I mean, hey, out of the last 10 years of my memory of the protests and stuff, the last wave was huge. Like, we've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
The whole world.
Because hasn't Israel and Palestine been in conflict for decades? Right?
Decades, yes.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that triggers me is the fact that they've labeled it a conflict, or they've labeled it a war, or they've labeled it, it's not.
It's an occupation.
It's an occupation. And now it's becoming a genocide. And it's like, they'll constantly pump media to portray this fight when it's not. It's just fucking bullying.
Because a fight means equal sides.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They've got the fourth strongest military in the world. We've got
backed by America.
And we've got nothing.
Their intelligence agency is absolutely crazy.
I saw a fact the other day. The American aid that funds the government's army there, enough money in 1 year's budget to put every single Palestinian that was kicked out back into a home. And that's just going straight, which is also a beautiful thing because it shows you the resilience of the people there. Like, they're so resilient. They are so resilient. It's insane. Like, Gaza, do you guys know much about Gaza?
A little bit.
The Gaza Strip.
The people there have the highest, my dad was telling me the other day, someone fact check me if I'm wrong, but the people there have the highest, like, academic score or something per capita.
Really?
Based on, like, the people. And that's just to show, and that just reflects, it's like a cool thing. It's not even about the people there, it's more about humans, how no matter what people are going through, they'll still perceive and learn. Like, these guys literally turned, and this goes back into, you know, how far do you have to get beat until you throw a hand back? They reverse engineered dormant shells, and they found 10 miles of unused pipe that the Israeli army had used for water previously. So they dug out those things, reverse engineered these warheads, and made their own missiles to shoot back at them from their own weapons. Like, that is just fucking insane.
Have you seen videos of like the anti?
They've got like the shield around.
Yeah, it's essentially like a shield. Right?
Oh, they've got the most advanced
it's insane.
anti. It's
just watching all these missiles blow up in the sky. I couldn't imagine just living under that consistently.
That would be terrible. That would be.
Be shocking.
No. You said something about like the media before and like the mainstream media. Because I am so glad that, you know, we do live in a world that we can know what's going on and I can be more informed about my decisions, you know, when it comes to like politics and like my cultural beliefs and whatnot, where I stand on things. But then, you know, there is this dark side to it that people are so bombarded with information that they... it's like people are a bit too occupied with it and they end up just existing in a state of terror.
Yeah.
Because of they're, you know, oversaturated with so many messages. And, you know,
for sure. Yeah. Just being consistently bombarded with just everything. But I mean, like, because there's so much going on in the world, and I guess it depends on what network, like what sort of platforms you choose to engage with. Like, I mean, like if you're just consistently getting your news and all your media from like Facebook, CNN, and Fox News, and even here like 9 News, ABC, it's all going to be like extremely alarmist and generally pretty negative.
Yeah,
and there's going to be an agenda behind it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well.
Yeah.
I think people forget that they're a business. They're not.
Yes.
They're not operating for the news. I think they're operating for clicks and views. So that recent thing, like yesterday with the World Cup. 3 black players.
Oh yeah, Seven got in some hot water.
Dude.
Can we bring that up? What sacked. Seven? A screenshot of what?
I don't think anyone. I don't think anyone got sacked. I think that was on purpose. Because look at the uproar it's caused worldwide about 7 News.
Yes,
And now
exactly.
7 News is on the map.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. So it might have been strategic, but it's also equally as plausible that their conversation in the room would have been like, yeah, we need to frame this around like it's 3 black guys and like so we can get the racist angle in. So maybe some of our viewers can start to like argue in the comments. And so they were doing it to like inflame.
So do you feel like it would have been
more.
like a legitimate?
So you think it might have been like a plus thing they're doing. They were like, let's annoy everyone so everyone can realize how how anti-racist they are. As in like they don't like racism. Let's taunt people to bring out that side of them that shows they care.
Well, possibly, but like
Yeah.
it also could have just been a mistake that revealed their true sort of intentions and like their true conversations in the room. So this is on Sky. So this is funny.
Sky News. Jesus.
7 News slammed for racist Facebook posts.
Slapped.
Yeah, because you imagine if it was reversed and it was just like white players missed.
That's the thing though, to be honest with you,
that would be like outrageous.
So they might
as
have
well.
a screenshot lower here.
It's like, why even bring that?
yeah, go up.
into-
It just said it there.
Huh? Oh,
It just
sorry.
said it go up just above this. 3 black players
here's the
failed
caption.
in the penalty shootout, which England lost 3-2
the
against
comment
England.
section on Facebook was just going absolutely hammer.
But there was a lot of like, I don't know, in 2021, there a lot of English people, I don't know, we didn't say it like that, were fucking mad about this and being really bigoted at these players. And it's like their race came into it immediately afterwards, which was, crazy.
Did you see what they did to like the streets and stuff in England?
Oh,
After
yeah, so they
lost?
fully-
completely like terrorized the streets and stuff. It's pretty shocking.
England's pretty notorious for that though. They're very culturally invested into soccer. I feel like they always end up just fucking some shit up.
The hooligans.
Yeah, like it's just like I feel like that just comes with we're like a very watered down version here. in Australia.
with like footy.
with like footy.
Yeah.
Like we like I think the worst thing we'll do is like knock a bin over.
Yeah, not go out like stab people.
Yeah.
No. Have you got what's the stadium that we have here where the Glory plays?
Perth Glory Stadium.
It's like HPH.
HPH,
Yeah. So me and our mate Louis went there in like year 9. And it was like Glory versus the Central Coast Mariners, and there was like a 30-on-30 brawl in the car park afterwards.
Yeah, but you see, they've all just come from the
my
cinemas
God.
the night before watching Green Street Hooligans.
Yeah.
Saving
This is what people
themselves
do
up.
after
Yeah.
they see a soccer
Yeah.
game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's shocking.
It was actually pretty fucking scary, to be honest.
That's also like a diffusion of
Fuck it.
responsibility comes into that. If you're in a group of 30,
Mob mentality.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Throwing a bottle gets easier by 1% every one person you add. That's how I like to think about it. Like you throwing a bottle at a car is so scary.
Yeah.
If you're in a group of 100 people,
yeah.
Oh man.
you're just like all of a sudden it's more about you throwing it and then counseling yourself after. Whereas the initial by yourself, you're like, am I about to crack out? Like,
Yeah.
and bottle. Yeah.
No, it actually feels pretty good when you are in like a group of 100 people and you're all like doing some like naughty shit together, because like the diffusion of responsibility, you sort of lose your morality and you become one with the group. And oh man, yeah, you can do some like a lot of the Capitol Hill riots would have been a lot of that as well.
Yeah, just
you know?
mob mentality. 100%. You'd probably know a bit about that studying psychology.
Yeah, they cover
With
it a
the
bit.
impact of groups
Diffusion
and stuff.
responsibility is
Yeah.
more the main
On the
term.
human psyche.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. Like if you like pluralistic ignorance. Have you heard of that? Could you look this up for us, Leo?
What is it, sorry?
Pluralistic ignorance. It's like, you know, when you're in say you're in like a university lecture and there's heaps of people in the uni lecture, and one of the lecturers asks if somebody knows the answer to something, even though it's like it might be an obvious answer
No
to
one
the
will wanna
question,
give
but
it.
nobody will want to
Yeah.
stick their hand up to do
Yeah.
it, because they see everybody else not reacting and they think, oh, like nobody else knows it, so like it must be a difficult question to answer, and
No,
then they doubt themselves.
I think yes, but then I also think that's reversed on itself, and I think they also feel like everyone knows the answer. So why would I be that guy who answers? Because we all know the fucking teacher's pet. from
Pluralistic
primary school.
ignorance occurs when individual members of a group, such as a school, team, workplace, or a group of friends, believe that others in the group hold comparably more or less extreme attitudes, beliefs, or behaves. Okay, so that's a little bit more of an extreme example. But
What's the example that they've got there?
Hang on. I'll just go on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
so it's essentially saying that from an individualistic
You're sitting in
perspective,
a large lecture hall listening to an especially complicated lecture. Okay.
you sort of overestimate
That's
or
exactly
underestimate the beliefs.
your
Oh, does it say
example
that?
there.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
are
it's a
sitting in a
famous-
large lecture hall listening to an
yeah,
especially
it's a
complicated
famous thing.
lecture. Yeah.
But
Do you
no,
know-
it's just really
yeah.
interesting. I thought.
We used to. Sorry,
Go on.
I was going to say back to the ignorance thing. Like, so it's something we used to do in high school, which is so fun. We did it at least once a week from year 9 to 11, I reckon.
What high school were you at?
I won't say for the sake of this.
Oh, okay, yeah, perfect. Okay.
So we would rile up maybe. What is it? So from year 9 to 10, it was probably me and my friends sitting in a group of 8 or 9 people. And then I remember one day we were just like, why don't we get everyone to just sit with each other? Like all the boys, like to just sit with each other in one big group. And we were like, yeah, let's do that. So we went around school one day and literally gathered like all the groups of dudes that would like sit with each other. And we just all started sitting with each other from then on till the end of high school. It was just a group of like 40 boys.
Nice.
And what we would do maybe once a week for like a few years is we'd just start running around the school with no direction. And what would happen is that group would turn into 300-400 kids.
Yep.
And we would just run through the school and you'd get teachers
That's
running
crazy.
in. No one knows what the fuck's
Yeah.
going on. And
We're
we're just
running.
laughing because we're just laughing because we're just like, everyone thinks there's something going on.
Yeah.
Dude, you're running like 6-7 laps around the school and you're just trashing the bins. That's all we'd ever do. We just barge the bins. And yeah, we just do that. And it was just so funny because then you'd sit down. All the dudes that started would sit down and just see this shit running past you. And you're like, these guys have no idea what the fuck they're running about. But you're seeing little kids like, like trying to keep up, like, well, I don't want to miss out on the fight. It's like, there's no fight. Like, no one ever asked, what's going on? People just start running.
No, yeah, we did that in primary school once actually. We would just like started like a group of 5, then we just like kids like come walk with us, and we were doing laps around the school, exact same thing. And the teachers are like stopping, like, what's going on? It's like, we're just walking. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny as fuck.
We had a lot of arsonists at school as well.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that stemmed from that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because what happens is you start to get like little reactions that like push the barrier, you know? All of a sudden, kicking a bin's not cool.
not
Let's
enough.
light a bin on fire.
And
then you're just like,
I've been down that. Been down that.
Yeah, I felt bad, man. That was fucked up. I remember there was this kid, he lit this bin on fire. I actually can't remember who the kid was. I never saw him. But we were sitting having our recess. We're looking at this bin, and I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, those bin liners have cyanide in them. So it's like a carcinogenic, like, to breathe in. This teacher, like, walks up, and, like, to this day, this is probably the stupidest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. And, like, it probably will be the stupidest thing I've ever seen till I die. She opens the fucking bin, and she gets fucking smoke bombed.
Oh no.
Like, hit in the face at speed with this ball of smoke and instantly falls over. And we're all just like, holy shit.
I feel bad for that chick.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
So the other teacher on duty who's just seen this walks over, looks at the teacher on the floor coughing a hole, and then goes and looks in the bin, gets yeeted by the smoke, falls down. We're just like, holy fuck.
That's fucked.
And now the behavior dude, we had like these behavior guys, like they like purposely chose literally like the area managers at Grilled. We had they had to be like above 6 foot. They were always big.
Wait. Were they students?
No, they were teachers, but their one job was to take care of the behavior. Like they
So
would
they're
just
security
Like an
guards.
enforcer.
they were like a
kind of.
behavior enforcer.
Yeah.
They like
But that's a security guard.
no, it's not because they couldn't like
They couldn't hit you or
Touch you.
do anything.
they would
Yeah.
that's who
Yeah.
you went and saw if you were acting up,
Okay,
and he'd give you
okay, yeah.
detentions or whatever. He walks over. And we're just like, surely this guy fucking gets the picture. But obviously none of us want to, we can't say anything because then instantly we're the guy who did it.
Yeah.
So we're just all watching like, please don't fucking open this bin. And he's like, hits the fucking bin, gets hit by a smoke and falls. And we're all just fucking like, at this point, no one's laughing. Everyone's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
worried.
Yeah.
We're like, dude, how many
people
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then finally,
That's
the
hilarious.
teachers, fucking one teacher comes and figures out not to open the bin,
Yeah.
puts it out. And then those 3 teachers are in hospital for like 2 weeks.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, like
Whoa.
fully casting, like they got like poisoning or some shit.
Whoa.
We have like a big assembly
Cyanide
about it,
poisoning.
and we're all just like, you know, if anyone knows anything about this, and it's like, I know a lot about this, but I don't think you want to know because it's gonna make you guys look bad. Like,
Jesus.
your teachers be stupid as fuck, homie. Like, but yeah, man,
It's called
school.
it's called a public school.
Yeah.
That's
Leo
just
actually,
public
Leo
school.
went to my school as well.
Oh, okay, no.
I was only there for like a term, and then I went to a private school.
Yeah.
Oh, your parents pulled you out?
See, my parents were trying to move me to a private school.
Yeah.
But at that point, I decided I'm not going to do WACE.
Yep.
So I was just like, don't pay for that. Because I guarantee you, it will make no difference.
You talk about private school.
Well, I think you should go to, don't get me wrong, I think private schools are sick. because they teach a bit more of a structured layout for friendships, and like I think there's way more benefits to a private school than a public. But on the contrary, the street smartness you learn from being at a public school, it's pretty sick.
Well, yeah, no, I was reading this book by an ex-Labor member the other day. His name's like Barry, something Barry. And he was saying that the public school system teaches you how to be a good citizen, and like not so much in school, but yeah, like with your like social awareness thing. But then a private school would teach you how to be a community inside of your school, not necessarily outside of your school. So these kids, they leave the community, they leave high school, and they have these sort of tight-knit, you'd probably say wealthy, high socioeconomic communities,
for sure,
tight-knit,
for sure.
you know, and they end up giving
depending
jobs
on where
to each
they're
other.
on.
They're typically
Nepotence and whatever.
segregated by sex as well. So like you have a private school, you typically be an all boys school.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have all like private girls schools, they'll all be all girls schools. Because I went to a private school for a bit before I went to church.
All boys?
Yeah, all boys, Christchurch. And yeah, like, I mean, the culture there was interesting. It was definitely like a bunch of incredibly wealthy families and stuff.
Yeah.
But there were also people who weren't incredibly wealthy that went there as well. But,
Do you reckon there was more bigotry?
I mean, I think I was too young
Yeah.
to understand probably that, like what the environment I was actually in. I reckon if I went back and looked at myself when I was at a private school, I'll probably be like, well, this
Punch
is
yourself in
this
the
is pretty
face.
weird.
Yeah.
But
Same.
when I went to a public school, where I met this guy,
Yeah.
it was a bit of a culture shock because you just went from like being surrounded by majority like upper middle class, like quite wealthy people, to really like a public school with people who are like below the poverty line. Some people that you met, so like there's fucked up people who are rich, and then there are fucked up people who are poor. Like, and that's sort of what it teaches you. Yeah.
Yeah. Trojans is an interesting one because I know a lot of people from there, and the mix is crazy.
It is, yeah.
But I think that the biggest thing in Perth as well is like the GT bubble, for instance. Like so much potential lies in that area. And it's obvious.
For sure.
You look at the numbers, like the socioeconomic divide between where I live compared to these areas, it's like 80-fold. Something fucking insane.
Pretty crazy.
So there's
The
no
culture's different inside of the GT.
Yeah, it's huge. I've got
really
so many
weird,
friends in it now, and like I hang out around there sometimes, and I see it. I'm like, this is so different. It's like it's not bad or good. It's just different, and that's what made me realize that this shit doesn't matter because it's like you guys are having just as much fun as we're having. The only difference is your toys are bigger.
Interesting.
And your wallets.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like the things they like, we would meet up at the beach and have like a 6-pack of beers between some boys, or like, you know, watch the sunset. They would go out to dinner.
Yeah.
So the price tag on things is big, but the experience is the same. Interesting perspective to gain, yeah. Because I've indulged in both now, and I'm in both circles just as equally almost, because I've sort of disconnected from, like I've disconnected, obviously as you grow older, you leave some friendships behind. So I've disconnected from a majority of the ones I used to have, and it just so happens the majority of friendships I've made, most of them live in the GT.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's like to see that, it's cool because now I'm just like, oh, like this shit doesn't matter. And if someone was to ever read me or like feel like I'm based on value from where I come from, you're not someone I'd want to be friends with anyway. Because where did your parents come from? Like, is it old money, or were your parents self-made? Because if your parents are self-made, that's sick. If it's old money, well, then you're just recycling that. And it's like, I actually feel bad because I have a friend who was telling me how like his parents have sort of fucked him because from when he's been born, it's just been silver spoon.
Yeah, damn.
And now he's trying to, you know, do his own thing. And he's just like, how am I meant to enjoy anything when from when I was born to like 18, it's just been the best of everything.
Yeah, I reckon it does fuck people up. Eh?
Well, like, what are you going to go for? Like, I had 2 friends who were training as PTs, and they flew to Dubai to train a prince's cousin. And this guy was worth
A prince's cousin.
And a prince's cousin was worth $8 billion. So like,
and that's like low end.
yeah, that's low end shit, dude. This guy's poor.
Yeah.
This guy's poor in his family. Like he's like, they're like, you got PT? I got Arnold Schwarzenegger to come train you. Like, yeah, man. So these guys, I'm Middle Eastern, so I'm allowed to put the accent on for anyone who's about to.
Yeah, there it is.
If anyone's about to pull up on me and be like, hey, like, Fuck, the world's so PC now.
It's
Oh
all
my
good.
god.
He's allowed to do it, guys.
Oh my gosh. So anyways, this dude was telling me how this guy would eat a $600 steak.
Yeah.
How much?
Like 7 times a week, like once a night or something. Like he'd just eat this $600 steak and he reckons it was just shit.
Really?
He would hear this guy and then they would buy brand new Land Cruisers, like fresh, and thrash them in the dunes and just leave the keys in them and fuck off. And whoever found it just like would get a free, like they would just do shit like that.
Man, do you reckon people that have that sort of bullshit money, because that's like bullshit money, do you think that those people would be like the happiness scale?
Oh my god,
more
these were
there?
he told me these were some of the most depressed
Yeah.
and unhappy people he's
I'm not
ever met in his
surprised.
life. Yeah, like he said,
And
like you'd be like it was fucked up dark because they've got nothing to like.
What else can they do?
You're born,
Yeah.
you're given everything based on
Yeah.
psychology. We're literally a product of our environments and conditioning.
Sure.
So if I give you something from when you're born and you get to the age of, let's say, like 12 or 13 when you start to push it together and you're like, oh, this whole time I've been in a Ferrari. Okay, well, what? Okay,
What's
I've
next?
got like
Yeah.
30, 40 cars I could get now that are better. Okay, sick. Whereas you're a kid who's been given a Bugatti and now you're like, what the fuck is the point of my life?
Do you reckon that's why like all these billionaires are trying to go to space now? Because they're all like hell bored.
No, they know that the planet's fucked, so they're
Yeah.
trying to build a contingency plan in front of our eyes right now.
Yeah.
Like literally in front of our eyes, these billionaires
These
are like,
people are trying to leave.
we know with the sun, we know what's happening. We've known it for years and
Yeah.
we're fucked.
It's
So we
crazy
better
to
just
think
get out.
about. It's crazy to think about.
It is. It really is. No, it's a bit of like a moral like sort of conundrum for me as well, because like I want like to achieve as much as I possibly can in my life. I feel like that sort of drive in me has probably come from not being born with a lot of easygoing
Yeah, no, for
things.
sure.
So
Yeah.
then if I want to attain like a wealthy lifestyle, and then I'm going to have some kids, are my kids not going to have that drive because they've been born with a silver spoon sort of thing? It's a bit difficult.
Yeah, look, I think a big part of it, I mean, sorry, to pull back on my last point, I've got some friends who are so wealthy and they're the most humble and driven people I know.
Sure.
Yeah, no.
And it
would
comes
be a
down to
thing.
their parents. And that's a big thing. Like,
Sure.
when I've met some kids that are just seriously like a little fucked up, I don't feel angry towards them. I feel bad for them. And I feel angry at their parents.
Yeah.
Because we're all products of our parents. And it's like, where do you draw that line, And obviously if the dude's 30 years old and he's acting like a cunt, I'm obviously not going to be like, yo, it's your parents. Like, it's
Yeah.
fucking you.
Yeah, like you've had a bit of time.
Yeah, you've had time to, but it's like when someone's like in
Yeah.
those teen phases and they're acting like a little prick, you're just like, like your parents are fucked up.
Yeah,
And
like you can't really place all the blame on. Yeah.
there's this really nice saying. It's like, don't give your kids the things you never had. Teach your kids the things you wish you knew. And that I love.
That's huge.
Yeah. I think that's huge because it's just like, money's money, man. It comes and it goes. And it's like not going to fucking matter. Whereas like when shit gets hard in people's lives, that's what matters. I don't know. It's a cool topic. But yeah.
Didn't
I agree
A$AP
with
Rocky
you.
say wealth is in the mind, not in the money? Isn't that a quote in one of his songs, I believe?
If it is, that's
Yeah.
like modern day poetry.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
is.
A$AP,
yeah,
you the man.
Yeah,
A$AP.
Yeah, A$AP.
ASAP.
Oh, he's good. Yeah. No, it's true though. It's like I think about the advice I want to give to my kids a lot. That comes by.
Do you
want to
have kids?
Maybe,
sure,
like,
bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I
Shazam,
don't know.
But whether or not I have them is another question.
Does that not scare? Like, does that not scare you though? Oh, not scare, but do you feel like you're like, why the fuck would I bring someone into
This.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of having kids. I've
Yeah, you
talked
got
to a
some
lot
good
of
genes,
parents.
bro. You should. Yeah.
I'm actually wearing trackies now.
Yeah.
I want some loose kids, bro. No. I want to have them because it's obviously our most innate purpose is to have
dope.
kids.
Yeah.
And like apparently when you have a kid, it's like this neurological switch in your brain, just like your priorities
Yeah.
flip.
Well, it's like a piece of you really just running
Yeah.
out outside of your own body. And
It tripped you out, I think.
yeah,
You'd be
it'd
like,
bizarre.
what the fuck?
You're just like, whoa, dude. Like a
Like,
little
that was
me.
a nut. That
Could have
came,
been on a tissue, bro. Damn.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
that's so, oh fuck.
Have you ever had that conversation
With
your,
who?
with your dad?
Oh,
It's like,
What?
did you ever
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about this? Like, I could have just, been in your balls.
yeah, no, my
What do you
dad
mean?
joked the other
You
day.
were in his balls.
Yeah, my dad joked the other day. He was like, man, I should have fucking pulled out. Jesus Christ. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, fuck off, Dad, jeez. No, it's funny though, because like,
I pull my dad up on that before as well. I was like, I came from your nuts.
Yeah.
And they're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm going to the gym now, just letting you know that I came from your nuts, dude.
Out of nowhere.
Look at me. Like, look at the size of me. No, that trip you out. Like my niece, man, she's like turning 4 this month.
Yeah,
And
true.
it's just like, what the fuck?
Mm.
My sister had you like yesterday, and now she's having like another kid. And that actually scared the shit out of me, because that's when I realized I was like, fuck, man, life is moving. Like,
Yeah,
life
yeah.
moves. Like, I remember being 12 and being like, oh, I can't wait to get older. And now I'm like 22 and I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I'm seriously, like, I hold on to shit so tight now and just appreciate. Like, the job I have at Trackside, which isn't where I work,
we're doing it.
teaches
We'll do
me...
the sense a bit. Like,
Yeah, beep that. Teaches me humility. Because it's honestly like a very, very average job. I serve very average people all day. Most of them are depressed or crackheads or disabled. And that's honestly the fact. And I love it because it teaches me humility. Because it's like, I've got all this potential. I've got all these things I could be doing in my life. But the fact that I can be here is just something about it's just so grounding. It's just, I love it. You know what I mean? And I'm doing like 30 hours there a week. So it's like,
Damn, you're doing music and uni and 30
Yeah.
hours. That's fucking crazy, man.
And
and gym. That's
And
nuts.
and acting.
Yeah,
And
I wanted to ask you about the.
Do you mind if I
degree.
keep hitting that?
No,
I feel-
please hit it.
Oh
hit
my
it.
God.
Yeah, good.
I'm that bitch at the party.
Yeah. No, I wanted to ask you about the degree and your music. What are you gonna do? Because like you're obviously passionate about your degree. How far are you through now? You'd be like 2 years.
3.
3. So that's a while through psych. That's a lot
Yeah.
of study.
Well-
I studied 1 year at UW,
Yeah.
and that was intense.
Well, keep in mind-
psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubled it with commerce for 2 years.
Mm.
Then I doubled it with philosophy for a year.
Interesting.
And now I've pulled back and I've actually swapped degrees. It's still psychology. I was doing psychology and society, and now I'm
That's
doing
what
the
I was
science
doing.
of psychology,
See, I was
which
doing
is
that.
actually more intensive. So
It's
it's like
way more
4 more
intense.
core units, but it opens the door for me to be a psychiatrist.
Well, you can't actually like really get a job with just the flat.
No, you
society
need
and
to do
psychology.
post-grad for sure.
Yeah, you can't.
No, there's actually this course they offer.
Or honors, whatever.
Now, it comes back to knowing people. And that's the thing about life. You need to just, like for anyone watching this seriously, I think the biggest thing anyone could grow on is just talking to people and putting yourself out there.
A
Because,
conversation can change.
dude, it can, I literally owe everything that's happened so far to just chatting. Like my favorite thing to do is go to a party where I know no one.
Network.
Because I love it. It's like, oh my gosh, like so many new minds. Like you have to think about it as a cumulative thing. Like there's like 400 years of unturned stone here. Holy shit. I get to tap into it. Like, oh, what do you know? Who do you know? Before you know it, you meet someone who's like, yeah, I actually run the post-grad program at UWA. So when you finish your bachelor, I can just put you in it and you can open your own practice.
Damn.
From a conversation, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's
And you're
pretty
just like,
insane.
wow, that changes my motivation.
Sure.
Now I actually want to finish my degree because I don't have to bank on the fact that, am I going to get in? Am I not? It's like, I'm in. And obviously I have to do well, but I'm in.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a testament to the art of conversation and just like, and how much potential do we really have in the time that we've got on Earth to have conversations with people? Because you can speak to a max 3 new people a day. Before it starts to eat into your own like time, and that's I don't know times by 365 times by like 40.
That's a lot of people.
But it's not really. It's under 10,000 people. It's not that many people.
Well, I guess it comes down to the quality of the conversation.
Sure. But then again, I would agree with you that like most of the opportunities that have come by in my life have been from random people. Like while I'm drinking in a bar, I'll just talk to some dude or chick, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, there's this like job here that you should hit these guys up.
Yeah.
These are pretty cool." And it's worked out, and it's weird how that works, but it does, and it's not it's a good thing. It's a testament to just have a conversation with randoms.
So I see this like backwards trend occurring now. Horses were for the poor, cars were for the rich.
Sure.
Now it's the other way around, right? Talking to randoms has become this luxury and it's free. No one does it. And I feel like the big people in this world are sort of like, you know why coffee was illegal? Like, you know, coffee was only introduced.
Coffee was illegal?
Coffee was illegal.
I didn't know that.
And it came to the Middle East, and this is why they think the Middle East had such a huge boom.
Because they're all caffeinated.
Because they were caffeinated.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh,
Dude,
wow,
we had
interesting.
the Middle East, like the world sort of owes it to the Middle East. They bridged that huge path. England was introduced to caffeine in like 1635 or something. And that's when they started sort of taking off. But caffeine was illegal in the Ottoman Empire because they didn't want people to talk. Because what happens when people talk is they conspire and they stay up late. And in England, it was a normal thing to give your kids hard cider for breakfast. That was just a normal thing. People drank all the time in England
That's fucking weird.
because they needed, you know, whereas like you do coffee. There's this podcast I was actually listening to. This dude took 3 months off coffee.
I saw that. Yeah, it was
the
a
Rogan
podcast.
snippet.
And he said it was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, he
but
said it was the most
amazing.
fucked up thing he's ever done. And he reckons the first coffee he had after 3 months made him hallucinate.
Yeah, like he was saying that like people drink coffee just on the norm, that your normal self now and your psyche and consciousness is just its normal like flat rate level is being caffeinated.
It's actually fucking insane.
Because people
dude.
drink that much coffee now that like it just becomes like a part of your DNA.
No,
essentially.
yeah, I pulled back on coffee during the COVID, like the big lockdown Perth had. I was like, okay, I'm drinking too much coffee. This is bad. I'm just gonna, stop. And then I got on the green teas, and that's good because like 4 green teas is like 1 coffee.
Yeah.
Like in the amount of caffeine. Sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like good for you as well. So then I went
Yeah,
back
full of
on the coffee
antioxidants and stuff.
after lockdown because I kept walking past the cafes.
So you like quit heroin, went back to weed, built your dosage back up,
Yeah,
and then you're like, I might as well hit heroin again.
Yeah. And now I go between the coffee and the, but yeah, I'm on 1 coffee a day and it's good. But no, back to what you
we're
were
not pro
saying,
drugs, by the
way. No, definitely not. No. Oh fuck. No, back to what you said. That was really interesting about the horse.
Yeah.
Thing. That's the same as like rich people back in the day were fat, and now rich people
Wanna be fit.
skinny.
Super
fit.
And then and poor people are usually the ones who have higher rates of obesity. So it's weird how like modern
in the Western
culture
world,
has flipped that. You know,
It's interesting. This is a cliche. Like I haven't come up with this myself, but like Western cultures and Western countries are the only places in the world where you can be below the poverty line and obese.
Yeah.
Like that's not real poverty. Like real poverty looks like your ribs are hanging out.
Yeah.
Like you haven't had water for like
Bloated.
2 days.
Yep.
Like,
We've changed the definition of poverty here.
Yeah,
It's
for
no
sure.
longer poverty. It's actually standard.
Yeah.
You're above the socioeconomic standard. You can still be fat. It's like, it's funny, man. I serve people shit and I can't believe what they buy. And they're spending a lot of money. I'm being serious.
Yeah,
like it's like we have this, every fucking place has it. It's like the hot section. So it's just box, glass thing. It's got a bunch of hot food in it. 90% of it's fucking deep fried. And people will come and they'll be like, okay, can I get a crumb chicken and cheese? Can I get a chicken schnitzel? Can I get 2 wingdings and a large fries? I'm like, yeah, that's $28. And they're like, yep, cool. And I'm just like, what the
Grease
fuck?
dripping.
I'm
from
just
the
like,
bottom.
yeah, what the fuck? Like you just, like, what are you eating?
Wow.
Dude, have you seen Taco Bell ads from America?
No.
Yes. So my dad loves NBA, and sometimes when you're like streaming it, they'll have like American ads, and American ads are honestly a bit disgusting.
Insufferable.
I remember there was the Taco Bell that's like extreme cheese, and then this guy like pulled apart the burrito, and all this cheese flopped out on the table, and I was like, is that what Americans are into? Like, is that what sells over there? That's disgusting.
It's consuming,
That's
yeah.
and apparently like a large drink over there is like our small.
Well, I think they've reined it in a little bit, but back in the day, it used to be
way around.
like ridiculous. Like,
No, it's still fucked.
Is it still like that?
It's still
Yeah,
fucked.
yeah.
What you meant to
Fuck.
say was our large is their small, which is actually legit.
Sorry, yeah.
Jesus.
I got Taco Bell in Sydney, and it was in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Is it
So
alright?
we went and stayed with this guy for a couple of days. We had to go meet him. Rented a car, drove there. My manager stayed there. I drove back. On the way back, I pulled into this Taco Bell. I was like, oh, fucking Taco Bell. Like, I got to try this. Went to the drive-thru. I was like, I need to like, what should I try? And she was like, oh, I think this is good, this is good, this is good. I was like, sick. I got like a few items. Pulled up in the car park. I did like a little review on it, if you remember.
Yeah, I saw that on your story.
Yeah.
And you said the sauce smelled or tasted like melted plastic.
Dude, it was fucked, man.
I'm not surprised.
I
I'm not
literally
surprised.
took a
Yeah.
bite. I took a bite of the fucking thing, and I was like, this is shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought Macca's was bad. This is literal. Like, they are not trying here.
Yeah.
My fucking meal came, man. It was like stuck to the wrapper.
Oh,
I like
that's
opened
the
it and it was like half my burrito. It looked like someone had like brutal diarrhea and sort of missed my wrap. And just like was like, fuck it. Got like half of it in it, half of it on the wall. Scoops up the fucking shit on the wall, wraps it up, and he's like, thank you. Oh, please give us a review.
Yeah. Fucking footy kicks it out the window. Yeah, have a nice day.
You've heard it here first, Australia. Taco Bell is dog shit.
1 out of 10.
I mean,
Half
for
a
anyone
star.
who likes it, I'm not going to kick it. Like, you do you. But
I've never had it.
one thing I don't get how people miss is like, what happens when you put fucking fuel in a diesel car? It fucking breaks, right? And people are wondering why they feel so shit all the time, but they're eating the worst food. And it's like people love to get so caught up in their brain, I think, and they go like, no, it's all in your mind, man. It's like, dude, you have to sort of come back to your biology every now and then. You're like a machine, essentially. You just got no like metal in you. You're a functioning machine. There's a lot of subconscious movement in your body. You're only, if you're a fucking genius, accessing 10%, which is insane, right? What makes you undermine the fact that you're eating shit? Like, no one, I don't know. I think one of my really good friends said this to me once. I don't think I'll ever forget it. He was just like, you can't say fuck it all the time. And it's becoming a very easy thing for people to do. It's just
Especially with Uber Eats.
drinking,
right,
drugs,
man.
just the fuck it. It's the fuck it
I'm a
culture.
I'm a
it's just like,
sucker
oh,
for
fuck
that
it.
The fuck it culture.
It's the fuck
I
it.
like that.
It's
That's
the thing.
really good.
It's the fuck it culture now. It's like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
fuck it. It's just like, why? Like,
Do you think because the world is like, clearly we're seeing the decline of the West right now, there's wars, like we had fucking, Trump as the president, our prime minister's a piece of shit, like, climate change, the neoliberalism.
Fuck you, Morrison.
Yeah.
Do you reckon people, because of all that, are saying fuck it easier?
yeah, for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
especially
100%.
now, like within the I assume you're talking about the last couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
But like because of COVID, man. Like, imagine what that's doing to people. Like
Exactly.
people are just like around the world. People have just been stuck at home consistently. I mean, like, how long have we been going through it now? Like 2 years.
It's
Almost?
been, I'm not going to lie to you. I can't even remember what it was like before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so. I bet.
I feel really bad for the kids, like your niece, for example, who've had to grow up in this sort of position. Because I remember when COVID was first happening, there was like these parents with this toddler, this little boy in the park, and then he wanted to go. He saw like another little boy, and they went to like run at each other, and that would have been like a normal thing that like go play. But then both the parents like no, and pulled them apart, and they're like, what's that going to do to those kids' psychology?
Yeah.
Is like no, don't go play with that kid. Don't go like expand your horizons. Don't go expand your mind. You like and there was so much that like clean your hands as well. It's a good thing to like stay clean, but the excessiveness of what COVID has put us through, I feel like is going to leave a mark on this generation growing up. We're going to see a lot more, anxiety.
Especially
For
at such a young and important part of the developmental stage of being a child, where you're learning like all of the key attributes of what it is to be human.
0 to 6.
Yeah.
To be accurate, it's the most
Exactly.
important years. Like, I lived in America from the age of 4 to 6, which is why so many people are always asking me, like, are you from America? Because I have this American tinge that comes
Sure,
out.
yeah.
And that comes from the fact that from the ages of 0 to 6, you're a fucking sponge.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
So I don't even know. I only found out this because when I went to uni, we learned this. And I was like, oh my gosh, that explains why I've got this American thing.
it's like very Sigmund Freud type stuff.
Because it comes from when you're a kid. But back on that point, I think it's down to the parents as well. Now their job is harder. And that's the price they pay for living now. Like, you think the people, when the plague went down, were like, oh, fuck. Like, they were just dealing with it. That's just life. Life is progressive, That now, if you're a parent, you have to try a lot harder to make sure that you're facilitating the extra stress that's coming with the kid. Sure. So it's like, go to that effort to set up a video call with another kid. Make sure you're putting effort into, like, when you can, take your kid out for walks. When they get old enough, explain to them what's happened. Don't just sort of let them go off on a whim and then be like, oh, we lived in such a rough time. It's like, no, we lived through a rough time, yes, but you had the choice to sort of accommodate. Like, for instance, why am I choosing now to fucking go ham on my body? I could be like, oh, like all this shit's going on, I don't want to do it. At the end of the day, it's my body, you know what I mean? So it's like it's always a choice. There's always a choice.
But now is the time to be doing it if you're ever going to do it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
People see it two ways though. There's the whole dissonance of like, oh, fuck this.
Sure.
Fuck it.
Yeah, or the time that I'm spending inside, I can, utilize and, learn to like trade crypto or read a fucking book or, a language or something like that. Yeah, I felt like a lot of people maybe, underutilized their time, maybe just binged a bunch of Friends or some shit. The people who binge Friends, I'm not
Oh, the TV show. Yeah.
Friends alone.
You binge Friends?
I don't binge Friends. I'm not even a fan.
Who's your favorite character?
Probably Ross. Oh, actually, Jennifer Aniston's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
She doesn't look a day older than like 20.
No, yeah, she's had some of that ritualistic
That's bizarre,
baby
dude.
blood or something.
Yeah,
When
she's been drinking baby blood.
She took a picture and she's like this and she's like 45 in it. And she looks so good.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
So
I've
good.
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's an interesting one. I like that topic. I think the fuck it culture's becoming a thing.
I think you've just coined a new phrase.
I honestly think
I seriously think
that is
culture.
literally this podcast needs to be called the fuck it culture. Like we discussed the fuck it culture, coined by Rami on the 13th of July.
You should bring out a song called "Fuck It." Oh, by the way, is there a title to this song or this new song that you're bringing out, or is that low key? I
have to take notes on that you just said that. I'm so sorry.
on what?
We'll be taking you to court. So can you just repeat that exactly? No, I'm kidding. No.
Oh no.
I don't know if I can say anything.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. No,
I was going to say, you should probably.
Oh no, man. So like this has been really cool. So this has been the first time in my career where I've had to get like a lawyer and stuff involved.
That's fucking. And you got a manager. You said just before.
That's more like chill.
Okay.
Like everyone's got managers.
I was going to ask about that.
The lawyer thing was crazy.
Why do you have a lawyer?
Because they sent me a contract.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was like 30 clauses. And I was like, I had a fair crack, researched them all, did my own notes, sent them to my friend, he did notes, got a lawyer to review it, and he was just like, yeah, nah, like we need to change all this. So it was just to protect myself. It's hard, man, being an up-and-coming artist, it's hard. You need to dig deep in your own, like, I know for a fact I'm my biggest fan at the moment, and that's normal, because it's like,
You have to be.
you have to be at this phase, like you're
massive
nobody.
believer in
Yeah,
yourself.
you're nobody, and you're trying to be something, and you're gonna get so many people in your way who just won't like you simply because you're trying. And that's just, it's like the crab theory, the crab that tries to reach out of the bucket will always get pulled down. Tall poppy syndrome.
That's really interesting. And tall poppy syndrome, I think, is
that's huge. It's
a
real.
big thing maybe in
Can you look that
Perth
up,
as
Leon?
well.
What up, sorry?
It's literally
what's it called?
Coined from Perth.
Tall poppy syndrome.
Tall popper syndrome.
Yeah, tall
poppies.
poppy. Yeah. It kind of got birthed out of like World War I and like mateship. Everyone's supposed to be equal. And then if someone tried to climb out of the box,
The
they
group
did
just
something
pulls
decent
them
for
down.
themselves. Yeah. Do you have you?
No, like tall.
Oh, tall.
Tall poppy. Tall poppy.
Yeah,
What?
it used to be. It
Tall?
used to be a lot
like
more
tall,
pervasive in
like
our
you're a
culture.
tall guy. And then, yeah, look at it. It's right there. No.
What?
Tall poppy syndrome. Here
Yeah,
we are.
that's
right.
the first time I've heard the phrase. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's legit as
Damn
fuck.
right not. Cultural phenomenon of jealous people holding back or directly attacking those who are perceived to be better than them. Have you encountered any like
That's so true, man.
people in your circle that have
Zero
done that to you?
100 in spectrum. I've
yeah.
encountered the most subliminal,
Yeah.
and I've encountered the most explicit, and it's just
That sucks, doesn't it?
oh,
That
it's
really
not.
sucks.
It's they're backhanded compliments. You see,
Sure.
everything in life's perception, right?
Yeah, that's
and it's
okay.
like I'm a very optimistic. If you throw a punch at me, I'm like, cool, man.
Yeah.
I think about what made you think that was the right move, and then I'm like, oh, he must think I'm good. And then, because there's a saying from Japan, it's like Japanese culture, and it's like, careful about how you speak about yourself, because you'll offend the warrior within. And it's like, talking down about yourself or perceiving yourself in a negative way really has no benefit. To a degree, you obviously can't be.
Well, I think
cocky.
it's more than that. It's not a benefit at all. It's the complete opposite. It will just completely hold you back.
Exactly.
Altogether.
People
Yeah.
think like they're being humble when they talk shit about themselves. It's like, why are you bagging yourself out? Like, you worked hard on this, right? Like, sell it. Like, be proud of it.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to kick you for it, move away from them. Like, the biggest thing I've used to sort of navigate friends and stuff is the more energy I've given myself, the more people I've attracted who are like-minded.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's
it
the
is, man,
thing. It
dude.
really
Like,
is.
one of my friends who I've become super close with recently, we've just attracted to each other. She's doing amazing in her career, and I've got a high energy, she's got a high energy. We don't see anything to do with that. And we've become such close friends in the last 2 months because it's like, I've sort of finally broken out of this bubble I was in because I was a little conflicted, I felt. Pardon?
Is that Jess?
Yeah. I felt like I was a little conflicted with like old friendships and then new friendships, and like there was this hell distort period because I felt lost because I was like, I'm leaving all you, I don't really know you, and then it's like, that's when you come back to yourself. You just go, well, if I just sit in here and I'm comfortable in here, I don't really care what happens around.
One thing I've sort of told myself with that sort of, because I've sort of experienced the same thing about just having like lots of little different friendship groups and stuff. You get different things out of everybody. I just had to tell myself to just not feel guilty for not showing loyalty just because I've known somebody for such a long time.
That's huge.
Because like everybody wants to be loyal, you know, like if you've known somebody for 10 years, like you subconsciously feel like you need to be there for them all the time, even if somebody's not providing anything in a friendship. Right. But yeah, I just got to the point where I was like, look, I just need to stop feeling guilty about that. I just need to make the right decision for myself.
Yeah, well, loyalty's tied into that tall poppy syndrome as well, because if like you've got a bunch of like people going nowhere with their life and they're not really ambitious and they're like, oh, like you got to be a loyal dog, don't be a dog, like you're dogging me.
Yeah, and
it's
you
like,
get sucked
I feel like you're trying to like hold me back.
Hold on, just on that point, what are you doing that makes you not loyal? Like, I think loyalty should be defined here because it's like a pretty vague, like,
well,
what do you define as being loyal?
I think you can define it like 2 times. So loyalty, I mean, like in I guess in a dumbed down version of loyalty, it is like you will not stray, what we were talking about, you will not stray from the group.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because it's like, fuck, we're fully podcasting. We've started on like the craziest topic. We're here now, but sorry, continue.
It's happening. Rogan. So I reckon the dumbed down version of loyalty can be defined as like no matter what the circumstance, you will not stray from the group. That's why you see people, particularly where we live, there will be people that you know, that we know, who will not leave here and will do nothing with their lives. And that's okay.
Well, not nothing, but they won't like exceed their potential.
Yeah,
like,
but do you think that? Okay, I think loyalty could be a very like secondary factor here, unless it's a bit of a like special case. But I think you could like say most of those things cause that due to them either being scared or not having enough self-esteem, and then loyalty, which is what they coin, is the diffusion of responsibility. They sit in, it's like a mob mentality. That's why you always find. That's why you always find the delinquent groups are groups because it's like, there's like, you know what I mean?
With each other.
There's 10 of us doing it, so like we're all good, and it's like cool.
Yeah, the diffusion of responsibility.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was just talking about that with a mate before. It's so true, actually. No, because like I love. One of the things that I love about myself is that I like being ambitious. It makes me feel good talking to people about ideas and expanding horizons and doing new things. That's like, and when I see that in other people, it's such a sexy factor in them. You know, it's like, it's weird to describe people that way, but like, like how you were saying with your friend before, it's like, I find it really easy to connect with people on a deep level if they're talking about their ambitions, if they're talking about something that's like bigger than them, you know?
Yeah.
And they have...
And talking about ideas.
Yeah, exactly. It's so interesting because it makes me...
Instead of just people and like
well, it's just how
events.
do you see life, man? Like, I want to fucking grow. I want to grow an empire. But it's not like this coined empire, like, oh my God.
No, that's a loaded term.
No. I want an empire as in like my little cute small empire. Give me a fucking 2x3, man. Sure, I just want an empire. And it's like when I speak about it, and I'm around some people, sometimes I feel like my vision's so big it offends them. And it makes them feel small.
Yeah.
And then that energy you pick up on and you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. Like, I'm out here trying to do something sick and I can feel this shit energy from you. Whereas you talk to some people and they're like, yes, because they've also got one.
Yeah, they've got that.
And then they like,
well.
oh, like, yes, like you've got a sick energy as well. Like, we can hang.
I feel like that's like one of the very rare cases where I think it's okay to be selfish. You know,
you need to be
even further. Yeah, you probably need to be selfish in order to actually achieve what you want to achieve, and I think that's like okay.
One of my friends in one of his songs had these lyrics, and it was like, "You need to be selfish to be selfless," and that's huge for me because I want to do a lot of political stuff in Palestine when I'm older. Hopefully, like if I have a push. So like my long goal, you know, is like imagine if I could build up a fan base of 50 million people. And then I started talking about these certain topics. it's like, yeah, I've sacrificed a lot of friendships or whatever to get here, but now I'm helping like millions of people.
There is a double-edged sword to that though, because you have like Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election against Trump, and she had like Katy Perry and Beyonce and Jay-Z on her side.
Yeah.
And like some of the most, I don't know about Katy Perry, but like some of the most respected artists, and it clearly...
You don't know about Katy Perry.
I said don't know Katy Perry. But it's clear that didn't help. And, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're like a fucking power couple. They're so... But like, they couldn't wield the masses.
Now that's the president of the USA. Huge difference, I think. As in, you're going for a power position that's globally recognized. Mm-hmm. One of the most controversial government positions you can get in the world. The president of America. Like, everyone is going to know who you are. Mm. If you're getting famous people to like key in for you, you're a fucking joke. That's fair.
Well, that's
I feel that.
Do it yourself.
That's
yeah,
like
exactly.
the Democratic Party strategy.
Yeah, but if Jay-Z and Beyonce came out and were like, yo, there's this war breaking out in Africa or something, people would listen. People would be like, yeah.
For sure.
Oh my God, you're such an amazing person. You're also a beautiful artist and you actually care. Like,
but I mean, yeah, like if you, I guess
I see what you're saying though. Yeah, for sure.
When you do become that successful and wealthy as well, because the motherfuckers are wealthy as fuck. Yeah, I think there is some sort of level of responsibility that comes with that.
Sure. Yeah.
Like where you need to,
power. You have a lot of
need
power.
to be, you're touring the world, selling lots of records, and drinking like $600 cocktails with $1 million Patek Philippe watch on. Like, I feel like there is some sort of level of responsibility you need to take.
Yeah, that was
in
sort
terms
like,
of pushing, for change and better to make the world a better place in some way.
It's a hard thing. It's like what happened with John Cena the other day, and how he spoke out. He said Taiwan was a country when he was plugging the new Fast and Furious movie. You know John Cena, right? Yeah. My childhood hero.
Can you pull out that video? Have you seen the video?
I wanted to be John Cena when I was younger.
John Cena apologizing to China.
Okay.
So and then obviously his agents, once he called Taiwan a country, called him up and were like, or someone from the CCP, that's conspiratorial, called up his studio and was like, bro, you have to apologize to China for calling Taiwan a country. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
And he came out against them. So he had to, but I hated on him for a bit. But then I was watching some clips last night of him wrestling, and I got all nostalgic and shit. And then I was like, man, maybe I don't have as much anger as that.
International controversy. Cena apologized to the people of China.
Still looks so good.
Yeah, he's massive, eh?
Why is there a floating suit?
It's an independent country. John Cena not alone in Hollywood and towing that line.
And he speaks
Yeah, he
perfect
speaks
Mandarin.
fluent Mandarin.
更尊重中国跟中国人。
Alicia has acquired the full apology.
你好，中国，叫西亚，我做很多采访，很多。
We better pause it because it might be taken on YouTube.
Yeah, pause that for us, Leo.
We could get fucked over.
It's just audio though. There won't be any.
You see, but
video.
this is the thing where it's like,
Did you know that China's is because I did a little bit of research behind this. Like, China's actually got a larger film industry than America.
Oh, it's worth the movie made 136 mil on its opening weekend in China and 34 in USA.
That's
well,
insane.
wasn't there a thing about how they got held like dishonored? Fact check me, please. Because Kung Fu Panda grossed higher, and they were like,
Then Fast and
they were
Furious.
confused. No. The Chinese, I don't know who, was just like confused that like the Western culture had made a better film about their culture than they could.
Yeah,
Yeah, wow.
so interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
sort of like
cut. Yeah.
that's such a like that's
But
so like,
Hollywood
that's some
has an amazing
WPS
shit.
right there. That's some white person spice. That's a good thing.
White person spice.
White person
I'm gonna
spice.
use
That's
that.
what I hit.
Actually came out.
That's what I hit people with, like if they just like do something funny. I'm like, that's WPS. That's some white person spice. It's actually a positive term. It's not meant to be negative.
Good.
But I don't know, man. This world's becoming so fucking this and that and that and this and don't say this and don't say that. And like the way I've always seen it, and it's because I'm Palestinian, is I'm just like, what the fuck's everyone talking about?
Sure.
I'm like, there are so many countries getting torn apart right now. And we're out here walking around super privileged and we're like pretending like this is where we need to start, and it's a good start and it is progressive and it's sick, but it's like I feel like sometimes it gets taken too far, and that's when I will take myself out of it.
Sure.
And I'll have fun in my life. I'll say things that I shouldn't say, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change that I'm a good person. You know, I'm gonna help someone. Like I do charitable things. Like I don't tell anyone about them.
Yeah, the people who do charitable things and then post photos of themselves with like,
it's just straight
like
up
an
virtue
African
signaling.
kid on their shoulders, and it's like I did this like through this program where I really didn't do much, but I got these Insta photos. I'm a good person.
Do you know what the
So
funniest
I'm
example of that
fuck.
is? Those people, like all those famous actors who came out and did the "I'm sorry" video.
Oh, Aaron Paul, that was bad.
Right.
what? I'm sorry for what?
Casey Frey did the funniest piss take of that. He just spends like pretending to be one of the actors.
It was for Black Lives Matter, and like all these white
Yeah.
famous people coming out and being like, "I'm sorry."
like they think that like the only thing that they can do is like do what they do, which is act and pretend like they're sorry for like a 2-second clip. Is honestly just ridiculous, dude. But yeah, do you know Casey Frey?
Yeah, and
he did the
piss
funniest
take of
piss
it.
take of
You should know Casey Frey, right?
I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love his dancing. He's
so good.
He's so
creative,
amazing,
man. He's so creative.
He's actually
hilarious.
a really good dancer as well.
He
He's actually-
genuinely is.
he's
That's
actually-
what makes it
I
funny.
think that's what's funny is you're actually like this guy's
He's got
actually got some
moves.
moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one where he's like breaking into the guy's apartment because he's like being loud because he's like doing all these steps, and then he's got like the dog with him, and he's like critiquing this guy's steps. And then he starts like manipulating his body and like doing these. Oh man, it's so good. He's
Is that with his friend and he's wearing the heels or something?
yeah, something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me, guys. I just need to quickly reply to one thing.
You're all good. You're all good.
Yeah, you know how we were talking about this the other day, just on Rami's point on how like people complain about everything now, and like him being from a third world country or part of the world, it doesn't really seem like much of an issue. How like came up with that theory of the Maslow hierarchy of needs. How like everybody's reached self-actualization or whatever it is. Everybody's created this new level in the Maslow hierarchy of needs because people have just run out of shit to complain about.
But maybe this is their self-actualization.
Part of that part, okay,
This,
yeah.
Is this, redefining of boundaries. And I'm not, like, there is definitely negative aspects of cancel culture, but I don't think that it's holistically a bad thing because, like, let's admit, if you had have grown up in the 80s in Australia or like the 70s or the 60s, you would have had a way tougher time. Like being from like
Maybe.
yeah,
not.
Well, but you would.
I think just
definitely would
in terms
experience
of-
more racism.
Well,
Definitely
And
would
more
experience
bigotry.
more racism, but
Yeah.
but the whole subliminal versus explicit, I think, coming from a psychology point of view, I think subliminal has a longer negative effect. Like, it's easy for you to decipher these friends aren't good for me because they bully me.
Sure.
Or you hang out with them for 10 years because little do you know they're just taking the piss out of you behind your back. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
And it's like the long-term versus short-term effect. I'd almost rather like, because I experience subliminal racism everywhere I fucking go.
Sure,
And
okay.
I will never be able to explain it to someone who doesn't get
So
it.
for you, that it's like a real thing.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so real, but it's
Okay.
like I'll never be able to explain it because it's like
Yeah.
you try to explain it to someone, they're like, I think
Don't
you're just being
really
superstitious,
understand.
and it's like you don't get it. It's little looks, it's body language, it's just energy. You can feel it. Like old people,
That fucking
I scare the shit out of old white ladies, dude.
Yeah.
I do, and I find it funny because I'm like,
is funny. It
I
is
get
funny,
it as
yeah.
well. I'm like, honestly, I'm not even mad at you. Like,
Yeah.
you grew up in a time where like
Yeah.
I was a bad person, and you see me now, like big brown
those
dude,
guns.
and you're probably just like, oh my god, he's gonna rape me, or
Yeah,
like
sure,
something, and I'm just like, okay, lady, but I get it all the time, everywhere.
What I was saying about cancel culture though is like that the pendulum has swung back to where, people that used to be subjugated have now, got a voice and they can exercise that voice. So the pendulum swung the other way where maybe they're trying to taking some power
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
But it's a good thing that the pendulum is swinging again, because it means that, we will have a fairer and hopefully a more equal society. At least we're closer to it because, there's rights being fought for, but it will swing back. I think people will chill out and calm down. And
I agree.
And the old ladies are gonna die, and that bigotry is gonna be gone.
Well, it's like the whole. It's like the whole.
shit's true,
even
bro.
like politicians now, the majority of them are like old as fuck. You have like the the occasional real young gun
Yeah.
that comes out. But you know, like they're all going to die soon, so it's all good.
They're all going to die soon, so it's all good.
Yeah. Well, it's true though. I mean, like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
much longer are these people really going to be relevant? Like,
I was just saying that to my friend, but
maybe for the next, I don't know, 15 years, maybe. Then you have all these real old dinosaur types who are just going to
I feel
age
so
out.
bad every time. I'm like,
No,
stop
no,
it.
take it. It's good.
Rami, something that you said before that I really want to comment on. You said, what was it? Something about having the freedom to talk to strangers, but no one does it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a good example of that is back in like the 1940s or 50s, if a guy sees a good-looking girl on the street, he can go up to her, flirt with her, and say hi, and that would be fine. But nowadays, if like I see a good-looking girl on the street, I am way too fucking nervous to say anything.
No, but you see, you got to stop there. That's the problem. You're not acknowledging the fact that you're actually at an advantage because you're not the only male who thinks like that. And if you do it, which I do, you are now above everyone. Like, I've met some of the coolest people in my life. When I was working on Pedal, for instance, you guys know the rickshaw Pedal?
Yeah.
They're amazing. I think they're doing an amazing thing. Shout out to the dude who runs that, Anada. He's a legend. I'm riding. I see this dude who now we're hell good friends. His name's Booney. He's like a full like fashion
The
designer.
New York
Yeah,
dude?
yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
cool.
just stopped and I was like, holy shit, you look fucking so cool. And he was just like, thanks, man. And I was like, no, seriously, like who are you? Like, I want to like let's be friends.
That's a fucking liberating thing you're doing there, man. That's really,
I'm
that's
bringing
really
the
cool
human back
yeah,
to, and
seriously.
dude,
Yeah.
like the biggest thing I tell people is like confrontation. That's what everyone's scared of. It's confrontation, and
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
it's getting more and more heightened, the feeling from it. You know, back in the day when someone said something to you, it was I literally love just watching people on the train. I get the train to work and back. I just watch people. I'm just like, I'll read my book for a bit, then I'll like put it down, and I'll just watch people, and everyone's just on these phones. Now,
That's a scary side as well.
No, but you
Yeah.
see, everyone was on their newspapers back in the day.
True.
So it's not actually that scary. The difference between a phone and a newspaper is a newspaper didn't have an algorithm that was literally
Sucking you in.
growing. Like,
Yeah.
dude, the algorithms that are, I can't even believe what's going on. I got a notification on my phone just from swiping here, and it tells me to, look at that. It's telling me to create a coffee with someone at 8:30 p.m. in my calendar. And I don't even know why. And it would have just known from my messages that I've said to someone,
Let's get a coffee.
let's get dinner tonight,
That's
which is
crazy.
what I just said
That
actually.
is
And now
fucked.
it's,
Yeah,
It's
dude.
so
and the
terrifying.
other day it was like, message this person. I was like, how do you know
What?
that?
It's telling you to message
It literally
someone?
told me to message this girl. And I was like, how do you know
What?
that?
When Saunders came here to do the little test run we did,
Yeah.
we were talking for like 20 minutes. Obviously mentioned podcasting and stuff. He starts getting ads on his phone for like Rode microphones and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like,
we
oh,
literally
okay.
fucked with it one day. I swear on my life, me and my friends. Corduroy jeans. I'm not even kidding. 2 days later, corduroy jeans on my Instagram ads.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, this stuff's just like, it happened.
Yeah, they're listening
It's
straight up.
real, yeah.
No, it's stupid as well because I bought we're buying cameras the other day, and then I did the purchase. We bought the cameras, and then for like the next 2 weeks it was like, buy a camera. It's like the exact camera that we bought as well. And I was like,
Really?
I just fucking bought a camera.
It's
Like,
very
shut
frustrating.
up. Like, damn.
It's brutal,
It's
man.
yeah, it's making me yearn for a better platform that doesn't have you by the balls, because there's actually like some rumors that Facebook has an algorithm that can tell when you and your partner are like not on good terms, and so they'll start like recommending
That's
you,
fucked.
because you know how you have those chat bubbles on Messenger, they'll like recommend you who to chat to. They'll start putting like ex-girlfriends up there,
Yeah.
and they'll
Oh,
start putting like, you know, hot
100%.
chicks that you know there that maybe like they'll like know what girls you've talked to, analyze their face, and be like, he would want to screw that one. So
Like stuff like
give
your
him
porn
that
search
conversation.
and everything.
literally-
Literally tie it all in.
Well, now that's
I'm on incognito search with that, so they haven't got me there. But
Fair enough.
the rabbit hole could go so deep in this one because it's like, it's a computer. It doesn't have issues with remembering shit. That's the first thing. The second thing is a continuously growing algorithm. They've come out with this. The Social Dilemma on Netflix. The dude was ex-Facebook, fully says it all. Like, that is fact-checked
very
shit.
scary.
This thing monitors how long you look at a picture for.
I really don't want to believe that we're being constantly spied on. I really don't want to
But
believe that.
it's not,
believe it.
yeah, but you see,
Just
the term isn't key to spying. It's providing a service. That's what they're saying.
and this is a cliche.
And
as
they
well, but
are.
like-
They're providing a
Yeah.
service that's more and more tailored to you, but no one has sort of, and it's too late now. It is actually too late.
It is too late.
You're fucked. We're all fucked. We've been on social media since we were 12, dude. Like we are.
Yeah.
They've got us by the balls.
They've
like,
got me. Yeah.
They've.
But yeah, I mean, like
They
it's
go so
people
deep,
think that these people that like these massive multinational corporations are providing these services free of charge and not copying anything, like no sorts of payment for. Like you're obviously going to, they have to generate revenue somehow.
That's why
and they
Facebook's
sell
free. That's
all
why
your
Instagram.
data.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
This is
also,
why this shit's free, man.
Yeah, I respect what people like Mark Zuckerberg and the founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, like what they've done. They're fucking pioneers, and they did build it from the ground up. They got people to code for them.
It's sort of
and
just
they had
manifested
these
into
massive
this
ideas.
tumor that's like
Yeah, but
growing into.
It's just out of their control now. I
Well,
think.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell it's not what it used to be, and now
Yeah.
like money's come into it, and it's like, okay, Spotify today, I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, I fucking pay for this shit, and then it comes up
Ad.
with an ad for
Yeah,
Sportsbet,
yeah.
and I'm just like, I'm paying.
What I'm trying to figure out is
For
how the
this.
fuck they got Rogan to do an Express VPN ad.
with probably $10 million.
That's what I'm thinking, dude. I want to know how much they paid him.
No, do you know Kim Kardashian got paid, I think, $10 million for that Uber ad she did? And she
Would
was
not doubt it.
She was in it for like, I think she was on screen for like 10 seconds.
She just sat there with a burger in her hand, and her legs looked good, and it's like,
Yeah, but that's
Absolutely
what,
insane,
But
dude.
I think another thing we forget though is like we are pretty individually minded. Like we will, have a thought of something, push and shove with it. There's some people that just accept shit.
yeah,
They're 9 to 5. They come home, they're exhausted, they're caffeinated, they just don't want to think, and then they just go, "Oh, Kim K, okay, Uber Eats is cool now."
bang.
And it's just
bang.
that simple for them. They don't
Yeah.
they don't push they don't question. Like that's what's I think the divide between our generation is like how interesting, because you've either got people that are like empty or full, and I find it hard to find people in the middle. They like don't exist anymore. You're
They're
either
still
just
hungry.
You're either just so about it or you're just so not. It's like hard to find that middle guy who's just like, oh, like I'll question it, but I'm cool with it. There's just these like either you're thinking or you're not, and it's like the divide's getting bigger, and then the divide in socioeconomic is getting bigger. So it's like there's like this huge divide. It reminds me of the movie Snowpiercer. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah,
on,
that's
on
a
the
good
train.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's such a great movie.
It's
yeah.
a fucking insane movie.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah, and you find out at the end they're eating fucking
Crazy-
cockroaches.
crazy
Sorry
theory.
if I spoil that movie for anyone.
Crazy theory. Have you seen this video on YouTube?
Yes, I have.
Ma-
Yes.
Um,
Not exactly what you're
Charlie
saying.
and the Chocolate Factory.
The owner of the train is Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it
There's a
sounds
bunch.
crazy.
There's a bunch
but
of
like,
things. There's a bunch of
It's bizarre, man.
evidence
Wait,
in there.
what?
It's really weird. There's a
Yeah.
theory that like
Search
Charlie
it up.
grows
Search it up for a
and
second.
like the world obviously gets like climate fucked, and then he's one of these billionaires who can sort of solve the problem, and he's got this machine that can make this really cheap food for people.
It's literally just
No, you got to watch the video. Otherwise, it's like it makes complete sense. when you're
Charlie
watching it.
Bucket. Wait, no, not the video. There's got to be some sort of like Reddit thing or something.
That's fucking-
He's Charlie Bucket in Snowpiercer.
Yeah, let's see what this says.
Willy Wonka, Charlie Bucket is the one who makes it through in order to inherit a chocolate factory and the vast fortune that comes with it in Snowpiercer.
Right.
Curtis
So
Evans.
is he like the dude that sort of saves everyone, or is he the dude that was already the rich guy?
No, he's the evil one.
Hmm.
Yeah, because he turns into the evil one.
Yeah, what we're saying is watch Snowpiercer. It's a great movie.
It's a fucking lovely movie.
Yeah, and it's definitely a sequel of Charlie and the Chocolate
And how
Factory.
funny is that? We're actually heading toward eating insects. They've got 8 to 7 times more protein than beef.
I just forgot that totally like ruins the movie as well.
Oh, yeah,
it does.
Spoiler
Yeah.
You should actually
It's like the whole
chuck,
premise, you know,
chuck
yeah.
a spoiler alert banner in before, because that's a movie people should watch, man.
No, yeah, with the insect thing, that's really interesting. Would you
It's been
eat?
2 hours.
It has
Almost.
been an hour 43.
There we go.
Okay, good,
we'll
good.
go for a little bit longer. Then
Oh, no,
I'm easy. I'm easy. Yeah.
As long as that vape's around. I'm
Yeah, oh, fuck it. It's got a few more sucks. Yeah. Maybe we can get them sponsors. No.
Product placements, man. Yeah.
The eating insects thing. Would you eat an insect steak? would you do that?
If it tasted good, yeah.
If it
It's
tasted good, yeah.
way better for the environment,
Yeah.
way less of an environmental impact, and way healthy for you.
It's like the whole like genetically grown meat. Like if it tasted fine, I would not have a problem with eating that shit.
here's a little food for thought. So, people doing
Fun.
sports are getting more and more like crazy at it, right?
Yeah.
So like, people are just getting better at everything.
Yeah.
Protein from insects is like 7 times more abundant. The next generations that are going to come, as they increase in skill and IQ, they're going to also increase in like this sort of nutrients they're getting. So it's like, I think it's a little late for our generation because we're like, past our 20s to start eating insects. It's going to be pretty hard. We'll probably do it. It'd be chocolate coated or whatever. Like we do it. We'd be like, this is sort of fucked. You raise a kid, you give him just straight up crickets for breakfast at the age of 3. Like
Well, man,
that's
if
just
you live in
normal.
Thailand or like in the east, in some of these eastern countries, they
Yeah.
literally do that.
I think I'm talking more about Western
Western stuff,
societies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's way more of a stretch for us.
Yeah, exactly. We're like,
To be eating crickets. Yeah.
It's fucked that like an adult parent would be more inclined to feed their kid a cheeseburger from Macca's
yeah.
than a cricket, Like,
But even the way you said that, but you even were like, I felt like you saying that, you were like, it makes sense why it's harder. Because you also, the first thing you probably went through was like, try feed your kid a cricket.
Yeah.
But then go back to like, try teaching your kid that crickets are good. And then it comes easy. That's
Well,
what
it's
I'm
stigma.
sort of getting at.
It's
It's
all
like,
the
yeah,
stigma
like
associated.
we've got the stigma in us. Insects, you kill those things. Yeah. Even though cockroaches are like the cleanest things on the world.
Wait, what?
They are. They're the
Yeah,
cleanest.
that's why they-
they're
Bullshit.
very clean
Fact-
animals.
fact check.
They're,
You gotta fact
they're
check
cleaner
that.
than a
Fact check it.
fucking cat's asshole, man. I swear to God. Like, they're clean.
They're very, very clean.
Yeah.
Like so clean.
Interesting irony, like how toilet seats are cleaner than most kitchens because people clean them.
Your
very thoroughly.
phone is probably like the dirtiest
Oh, yeah,
fucking
dude.
thing in the house.
Have you guys ever like kissed a girl's butt? Like, because
What?
something getting hot. No. Because
times, actually, yeah.
Because I did it the other day. And then,
You mean the butt cheek or like the?
well, yeah, the butt cheek.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I remember
I thought you were
thinking,
talking like full ass.
but we had been
Why
out.
are you
We had
kissing
been
it
out that
to
night.
eat it?
We had been out that night. And then like
Disco booty.
we were at like a bar. She went to the bathroom. She came back, and then I was in the middle of kissing the butt, and I was like,
Wait, at the bar?
no, this is at home. This is
Okay,
at home, like,
okay, it's
I was going to say that'd be inappropriate, but now it's all good.
But I mean, I remember I was kissing the butt, and then I was like, hang on a second, this butt's been on the toilet seat.
That's all you're thinking about when kissing a butt?
Well, no, it just sort of hit me all of a sudden. I
Yeah.
thought, fuck, like I didn't,
How
think
weird
about
is
this
our
before.
attraction to a butt?
I love butt.
No, but as in like, you ever think
love
about an
butt.
ass? Like,
I love butt.
Like you're like, that's a big ass. Like that's a nice ass.
It's a strange thing.
Do you
It's a
think
strange
chicks?
thing.
Do you think chicks? I've actually talked to a lot of chicks about this. They also find our butts attractive.
No,
They do.
100%.
No, it's so
we just
weird.
said
I don't get that.
show
They
them
do.
like they do.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
We just have more fun because we get to like,
Take action.
Yeah, whereas I think they just get to, because I've had it before. I'm getting with someone, they like start playing my ass, like squeezing it, and I'm like,
yeah, it's a
hey,
bit
like,
weird.
I'm
Yeah.
like, that makes me feel like a little feminine.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, but something about it makes me
Sure.
feel like I'm getting with you, and then you're like, that,
Yeah.
you're handing you're
it's
putting
role
your hand on my
reverse.
ass. I'm on top. I'm like, what's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on here? Like,
Yeah.
It'd be like if they started playing with your man boobs.
No, she's like, yo, turn around. And she just makes you stand there with your tits hanging out.
Oh, jeepers.
I'm just sulking. She's like, yeah, you like that? Oh man.
Oh,
This
my
went from being
That's the-
really deep to
That is
really
that is
sensual.
so good. Are you guys gonna do that thing where you have little segments uploaded
Yeah,
to
little
YouTube?
cuts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
needs to be one. You need to docket that, dude. That's so good.
Hey, yo, can we clip that?
Oh yeah, clip it. Clip it.
Perfect.
Oh man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, I used to be like a really big clean freak when I was younger, like really like OCD about shit. I'd make breakfast in the morning and I'd get everything set up on the table before I'd make it, and Mum would be like, "Why do you fucking do that? It's weird."
I think that's cool. That's,
do that.
That's actually called. That's just like a very normal practice in the kitchen.
Sure, but there was like other things where it was like excessively OCD sort of thing. But I kind of like came out of that,
But
But
you're a clean freak?
like
Germaphobe?
germaphobe
Yeah.
more than a clean freak. Yeah, definitely a germaphobe.
Duffy.
Yeah.
Duffy was a huge germaphobe.
Was
for
he?
a few
Jack?
years. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, man. For a couple of years, he told me. Hope you don't mind me talking about this. That's what I'm going to say about it. But yeah, I can't remember our conversation we did have about it, but it was like, he explained to me why he was. It was very interesting insight.
Well, they like psychologically, they reckon that it's a mechanism to add some control into your life, to give yourself some control.
Yeah.
So
Habit
if like a
formation.
kid's like growing up in like a tough situation, that's like their only like real structure is what they give themselves. I'm not saying it's like what happened to what would like your mate, but it is a thing. No, by the way, on the topic of psychology, have you heard of a focus group?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a big practice that have you seen Vice?
Yeah.
With
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
What do you mean by
Christian
there's
Bale.
like
Christian Bale
Yeah.
as Dick Cheney, and how they invent the term climate change
It's-
through
yes,
these
yeah, yeah.
like pioneering psychological
Yeah.
techniques involving these focus groups. And yeah, there's this really famous guy called Frank Lutz, and yeah, he was like a marketing guru, and they got him in to convince the American people that the war on terror was legit, and that climate change, because we used to call it, what do we used to call climate change?
Global warming.
We used to call it, why don't we call it that anymore?
Because focus groups didn't like it.
Because
it's
they
negative.
They surmised from the focus groups that would you be more inclined to somehow not really care as much, because then you had Trump going, the climate's always changing. And it's a right-wing talking point that it's called climate change because the climate changes. The climate changes every day.
Wow, they've actually, that's crazy. They've taken weight off
Yeah.
the fact that we're like actually causing it.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And it sort of like sounds like a normal thing now. And so, yeah, but I was in this focus group the other day, and
So are you part of the problem?
Yeah, he's like,
You doing
explains the whole
focus
thing. He's like,
groups?
so anyways,
No, it's 'cause-
so anyways,
it's 'cause
guys,
of
just
like
call
a-
it climate change from now.
No, it's because I'm I guess
Yeah,
a
yeah,
marketing
yeah.
trainee, so
Yeah.
they got me into like sort of show what's up. I know that they're kind of dodgy, but at the same time, it's a good way to gauge public opinion. But yeah, they also did it to like convince Americans that taxing the wealthy was bad.
Yeah,
by
and also
calling the
death tax.
but they
Yeah,
called
yeah.
the tax a death tax. And in the last election, ScoMo won. Part of the reason why he won because they were pushing the whole death tax thing. So they're still using these fucking
Yeah.
talking points.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, super frustrating how they, convince humanity. So what's your opinion on that? Because, you're a trainee in this field. Do you reckon you would have some students in your sort of area where that they're going to use these techniques for evil? Like you can meet some narcissistic fucking kids and you can sort of tell.
I don't really know if I can comment on that one yet,
Yeah, okay.
because that's that's a lot to like unpack there.
Sure.
But we could talk about that in a few months, I think, when I'm a bit more like, I'll actually take a note of that and look into
Or
that a
maybe
bit.
after,
that why you bought the notepad?
after you graduate, to see
Yeah.
what people actually choose to do.
Well, what
Actually,
happens if you're asked-
this is actually a sick thing I've started doing.
No, I did the same thing on my phone. Yeah.
Notepads, and big difference between and this is the world. Having it on paper and actually,
Yeah,
so like
physically
yeah,
writing
like
it down.
it comes into like habit formation. So, for instance, like I've got a brainstorm here I did on the train on the way, which is just to do with some other stuff. To-do lists.
I love writing those. What are they called again? Those bubble things. Those
Brainstorm.
Yeah. But they've got like a specific name. I've drawn so many fucking
like a
things.
brain tree. A brainstorm.
brain tree.
I don't know what it's called, dude.
No, but I have so many scribbled bits of paper in my room with those sort of things in them. Like where I'm just like fried at like 2 a.m. like making all these like bubbles and shit. It's so much
He
fun.
means
though, 'cause
fried as
like-
in he's just had Macca's chips. That's what
Yeah,
he means.
no. I've just been in my sauna. So yeah.
With heaps of oil. Actually, back to the whole germ thing, by the way. I think a big reason why I never got sick as a kid was because I bit my nails profusively.
Interesting.
And nails, as well as your phone, have the most germs, like your hands.
Wait, you neck got sick or you got sick?
Never
or
got sick. And I think
yeah.
that's due to me biting my nails because I was sort of like vaccinating myself to all these like micro germs.
exposing yourself
Yeah, like
to-
all the
yeah.
time though. Like
Yeah.
I'd like remember I'd eat my nails and I'd get some gunk sometimes. I'd just eat it. Like dead out. Like I don't bite my nails anymore.
Yeah.
I've actually like got a manicure on Friday.
You actually got
Hell
like
excited.
really fucking nice nails now that I'm looking at them.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much. That means
they look fresh.
you like him.
Give us a
they're
look.
Nice, bro.
Pretty.
Oh.
I've grown him. I'm actually hell proud, and I
That's
take
nice,
care
yeah.
of him now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like
And now I find my immune system is actually like it's so. I'm not even kidding, dude. The correlation. I'm
I bet
noticing
Rami's
it.
starting up like a manicure place now. He's just trying to get
Dude,
everybody
them
to come
things
in.
make a lot of fucking money.
Bro, them
kinda
things
wanna
are a
own
front,
one.
bro.
No, they. Yeah.
17 chairs, 3 workers, $7,000 an hour.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
And then the guy comes in, he's like, "No, it checks out. They got 17 seats.
Yeah.
Each one makes about $40 an hour."
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes
yeah.
sense.
Do
Tips.
you reckon it's really unhealthy working in those places though, because of all like, I know that they're wearing masks, but like surely like when you take it off and like cleaning the place afterwards, there's a lot of like that nail residue hanging around. It must be
I think
unhealthy.
I think that's fine.
You reckon it's fine?
I think it's fine. It's a heavy material. It probably settles.
Okay.
I think the worst thing is the chemicals they use. Have you ever been into one?
I've
And
never
smelt?
been.
Yeah, no,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
And the nail polish
Gives you a
remover
head
and
spin,
such,
dude.
Yeah.
I got my nails done like 3 years ago. I remember once. I went with my mum, and just smelling the shit, I was just like, man, this is fucked.
I like nail polish remover.
Yeah.
Stinks
Yeah,
like
that stuff's
crazy, bro.
deadly, man.
What I'm really worried about is all the chemicals that I inhaled working at places like, Macca's and H.J's. Because
Same,
they
dude.
give you these random
Same.
sachets. They're like, pour it on and then just like scrub it.
Yeah.
And like, that's
like
there,
gassing
but
up.
I'd be breathing this shit
Literally
in.
breathing it
Like,
in. Yeah.
that has to be
But you
bad.
see, that's where like that first topic we were talking about comes in, where you need to sort of remember that these are like dead end jobs. I think everyone needs to remember that when people get very committed to a job that's like that,
very
it boggles
sad.
me.
It's very sad.
Yeah, because I'm just like,
Yeah.
you are getting paid no more.
And they start bullying people as well. Like,
Oh man,
like,
I've
it's weird.
actually literally, so I've started working at this place. I've been there for 2 months. I've fully changed like my shifts, so I only work with certain people now. Because I think a big thing that I'm so focused on, and it's more than money, is energy. I don't want to be around people that have bad energy. That is worth 10x to me, because I'm a very, very like people person. If someone's around me and they got shit energy, and I take that energy on, that could ruin my week.
Are you spiritual?
Quite spiritual, yeah.
In what sort of denomination?
And what do you
Denomination.
mean by that? Like, I'm religious. I believe in like God and like Islam and stuff.
Oh, okay. So,
I practice.
Is that Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's
Yeah.
like my main belief. Like I
Yeah.
believe like that, and then like a subcategory belief, I guess, is like I'm quite a spiritual person as well. Like I've done some spiritual practices that involve certain things.
Yes.
And like I believe in energy. I believe in manifestation a lot, and I've seen it happen. Like it's actually fucking insane what happened to me.
It's
It's just like it's real, yeah. And I believe like, I don't know, like even this thing, it's like weird how like I remember like a few months ago, like we were talking and I was like, you need to just do something that's like you, like, and then it's
Yeah.
like that conversation without you even realizing starts in your head, and then it fruites because then you agree with it, you don't fight it, because some people could look at that as offensive. They could be like, fuck this guy. Whereas obviously you were like, maybe he's got a point, maybe he doesn't, whatever. And then you fruit like your ambitions to this, and now look at where we are.
Exactly.
And this was the exact room where I made my first song.
Yes.
So
Good
it's
energy in this room.
Yeah,
By
no,
the way,
good
to the
energy.
people listening, this used to be a recording studio and music making studio.
Psycho and Windows were made in here.
On Spotify, you should check it out.
Yeah, under Rami.
Plug.
No,
Right here.
Yes.
Click here to check my Spotify out. You should also get that at the beginning as well, just above my head. Just get my Spotify.
Yeah, we'll get a little bubble.
Like Fox News ads just like consistently like surrounding the
Yeah,
video.
just
bing, bing.
hell shit like edited though. Like I like face this way.
Penis
It's like
enlargement
cutting
pills.
through my face.
Rami,
Sorry, go on, man.
do you like a bit of Headspace, Rami?
A bit of Headspace.
Yeah, the app Headspace, you know.
Oh yeah,
I've never
I did
used
actually
it.
do
It's
Headspace
good.
during lockdown. That was sick. So meditating is actually a big thing I got into and then got out of, because there's a bit of controversy around it. It teaches people to focus, but people, if they don't get to the end, they get fed up.
It's also been co-opted by like Instagrammers. Like a lot of the language that they speak is like this like woke language that's actually like come from, you know, genuine thought out thousands of years old, you know, practices, and they're fucking co-opting it for some like money off of Instagram. And they blend things and it doesn't really work, and then they end up giving people bad advice and putting them down like they don't end up using these practices.
I think people don't realize how much power they've got when they've got someone in that vulnerable state.
which is really fucked up.
Yeah, I've been in some one-on-one sessions, and dude, like the level they can strip you back to in your energy, it's fucking insane.
And are
they've
they
stripped me-
professionals or like?
Well, you know, key a professional in the
Sure.
art of, you know, they've got certs, they've got courses they do.
For meditation. right?
Yeah, and it's like the qualifications they have as yoga instructors. is one thing, and that's fine. That's on paper. You can see that they've obviously know what they're doing. They've went and done their trips. The other thing is when you're in a room with a one-on-one person, they get you down to this level. I'm talking like seriously, like a vulnerable level. Like I had a few sessions where like I just cried for 20 minutes and stuff. You're letting a lot of energies in and out, and that's when you need to be careful, because it's like, do they even know what the power is with that? Because I've had somewhere I've felt amazing after, and I've had somewhere I was in a rut for a couple months. Because it's like in that session I sort of lost something and gained something bad from them.
That's weird, man.
Yeah, that
That's
stuff's real.
hectic.
I think
energy.
I think the stuff's so real. Like I seriously, I say to everyone, man, protect your fucking energy. Protect your energy like it's your kid, because that is all you have. It's your energy, man. And it's like, what you value your energy as, people will feel. Like my energy, what you're feeling now compared to a year ago, it would be drastic.
Yeah, like I remember seeing you on stage after you had a bit of a hiatus, and you just like said to yourself, like, I fucking miss this. This is so good. Like, I like saw that in you. And yeah, speaking of you on stage, you have like a really good presence on stage.
Thank you.
It's really enjoyable to watch. And then you do your freestyles at the end. Man, that shit always goes up. Like you said, something like you like call out some words, and like you like accepted my word one time. I was like, yes, you fucking rapped about it, yes. But yeah, that's hard, man, to get random words and then just start riffing off it. That is a fucking art form in itself.
Thank
that
you.
is hard.
Rami's in a weird habit of, whenever he's doing that, he just always resorts to like ripping into the crowd of the people who like give him words.
Man,
and shit.
but like
it's
fucking
funny.
Works, though.
It's so funny to listen back to. And they're all like,
chicks.
yes.
They have no idea what I was saying. This one time I was talking about how like I was getting fucked by this dude's mum and dad at the same time, and like everyone's like,
that's right.
And then we like watched back and we were like, no one knows that I was
What you're
talking about.
Yeah.
Like they just hear the rhyme, the rhyming thing, but it's like, no, man, that stuff's so enjoyable. Like I don't know. I just love fucking confrontation, dude. I'm addicted to it. I love confrontation, but people don't get. I'm just as scared.
Yeah.
Like I am so.
Wait, what do you mean by confrontation?
Like I'll go to a party where I know no one, and I'll just bring up the whole rapping thing, and then I'll start freestyling in front of like 20 people. But I'll have it in myself to be like, if one person pulls a phone out, I'll stop.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's my big thing. Don't fucking record me when I'm
okay.
freestyling unless I'm at a gig. Like you don't.
Why don't you like being recorded?
Because it's a very vulnerable. Anything could be said.
Yep.
Find me in 5 years and that could be dirt. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then that's when people will be like, oh, you have such a big ego. Like, you think you're going to be something one day? It's like, okay, cool. Like, fuck off. Like, I will be. Like,
yeah, the recording things are awkward as well, because you almost feel like it like kicks you off your train of thought, and now you aren't just doing this to this intimate crowd. You're now doing it to like whoever the fuck's following them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not
these
fun anymore.
Yeah, it strips back the. But yeah, I've been known to do some freestyles here and then after a few beers.
Oh my gosh, that show we played.
What show?
It's very funny.
Are you still going out with her, your girlfriend?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I meant.
Isabel?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you remember my girlfriend's name? You got an amazing memory. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Your show, the show she hosted at her friend's house or her house.
Oh, where we played. Yeah.
That was the
sick.
funniest thing.
Oh my god,
I've ever done in my life, dude. We got so lit for that.
Yeah, you guys came back from a gig that you had.
We'd already played
yeah.
like 2 shows, hadn't we?
And then you guys rocked up. I was like, yes, they're gonna fucking perform. This is gonna be sick.
And we were just wasted. And
no,
it
that was
like,
hilarious that night. Yeah.
Someone was like, someone saw me play, and they were like, when we just saw you, like, I think it was my mates. I brought my mates to that. They were like, when we saw you start singing, we knew like this is just gonna be hilarious, because I was just on one.
Yeah.
And wasn't that you? I went and like did a bottle shop run for you. And I got you the bottle, but then I smashed it.
No, you got me like cruisers or something, and then like you dropped the box of cruisers, and then I remember I went back like pretty blind and got like a 12-pack of cruisers. That was a mistake.
No, it was a bottle of rosé, and it was a bottle of rosé. And I remember what I did was I was literally at the front of the house, smashed it.
Yeah.
But to show that I got it, I picked up the remnants, and I was like, just to show you that I bought it.
There's even a bit of rosé left in there. Like, look at it. Yeah.
He's drinking from the broken glass.
No, that was honestly nuts, because the neighbor rocked up, and then like he wanted to turn the music down, and then there was just this random like 4-year-old standing in the corner. I remember thinking like, that guy doesn't belong. And then I go up to him like, hey man, how's it going?
Looked like the biggest nut.
What are you doing? And he was like, oh, like I just came to like turn your music off. And I was like, oh yeah, turning our music off. He's like, yeah, you're going to turn it off now. And I was like,
what was the time?
It was like 11:30. It was something like that. It was not that late.
He's got 30 minutes till he can talk.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, I'm gonna be like, nah, man, I'm all good. I'm all good.
Yeah.
Chill out. Nah.
Yeah, how do people deal with that? Like when they have like you've probably been to a lot of house parties. I haven't. But like, how the hell do they deal with like angry neighbors?
Well,
The cops did rock up.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
But I mean,
yeah.
we were like playing like loud as fuck, like bands outside and shit. So I don't really blame.
It was
him.
it was from like
pretty loud.
midday till like
Yeah.
midnight, and then we had to like turn it down.
And
But,
like the
yeah.
very last people to play were like this massive like punk rock sort of style band with your girlfriend drumming.
Yeah. She's an amazing drummer. No, it's funny though because it is about like conflict resolution as well. But it's like what you were saying, like I guess it's like a conflict in a bit of a different way. Like conflict resolution is an art form in life, and if you can resolve conflict well, it's going to open a lot more doors for you. I believe. Yeah,
For sure.
But not also like solve it by thinking that you need to win.
No, 'cause
Solve it in a way that
Yeah.
that is amicable and that you can both gain from.
Yeah, you need to know
like a
when to
transfer of
sort of just
value.
be like no, or when you sort of should be like yeah. I think that's a huge cornerstone in this whole like you can win internally, but it shows that you might have lost externally. But it's like if you feel like you've won, then you're winning. Yeah.
No, I wanted to ask you a question.
That's what I think about. I sort of chimed into that, and I was like, I don't know why I'm speaking right now. Like, I don't really have anything to say about this.
I wanted to ask you about your because you're obviously doing this degree.
Yeah.
And that's hardcore. That's full time shit. I've completed an undergrad. It's not necessarily in the science field, but it is. What's that?
I just got this sent to me.
Oh.
Sorry, I fully just cut you off, but I'll just show you this now quickly. This is my first reel I'll be posting.
Ooh.
Pink Rami.
So just enjoy life more. Like, I really have changed my whole shift on this whole like grind. I think it's not a grind for me anymore. It's more just like this journey, and it's about how much you can enjoy it.
We're just watching a video of Rami that is going to be released.
Who made this
soon.
for you?
Rob Gibbons.
Shout out to Rob Gibbons, the man.
Did you hear Matt like forget to switch on his boost pedal during the start of the solo? So funny, bro. Because it sounds a bit flaccid when he starts playing, and I remember him. Like, I was on stage and I saw him, and he just goes, "Oh shit!" Turns on the boost pedal, and then he's like, "Oh, okay, it's a bit better."
There it
Halfway through the solo,
There's the nutsack in it.
nobody noticed it though. So I was like,
Dude,
dope.
I really want to like show you guys the new music we've been working on, but I haven't received the.
I'm
bounce
actually
yet.
very, very curious at what's going to come out of that. That's you got me semi-chubbed, to be honest.
Oh, dude, that's such good. Like, that's such
Yes.
good. Nah, I don't know, man. I've had a few people sort of like hit me up and actually be like, "What's going on?" And like,
well, you
this
did what
better
you
be
said you were
good.
Yeah,
going
they're
to.
hungry for more.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and the thing is, like,
I'm curious as fuck,
I'm excited,
man.
but
Yeah.
like the whole, I've never been more patient in my life, and it's like everything I'm doing right now is adding more to this patience grind. Like it is just the grindiest. It's so grindy. I can't explain it. It's like I'm working at this cafe and it's like, ugh, and like I'm gymming all the time and it's like, oh, and it's like I'm making music all the time and it's like, ugh, but it's like, I know it's going to all work out.
Yeah.
Just keep going day by day. Don't overthink it. And it's just like, I'm excited to show everyone what I've been doing, man.
Well, it's also good timing as well, because if you had have dropped something amazing like a year and a half ago, it would have like the momentum would have
flopped,
like,
yeah.
this sort of thing.
That's why I think I've been holding
it's good
back.
timing.
It's because
good,
I want to make sure I've got enough going on to keep going forever.
Okay, I've got a hypothetical for you. All right, so like your music career starts to take off, and then I don't know, maybe you've got like exams for uni, and you're about to like go into exams you started studying for, and maybe someone goes, "Hey, Rami, come on tour with me around like America or Europe or something." What are you gonna do?
So I send we actually, it's funny you say that. Uni I go to, UWA, have an exact thing that deals with that, and you actually get exempt. So
Specifically for music.
specifically for music.
Do you
wow.
need to repeat it?
No, you get exempt, and you can sit it. You
What?
can sit it when you get back. You can sit it early. You can sit it when you're there. So they make it work for you. Yeah, it's sick.
That's cool.
They're pro. Like
That's
Because
good.
imagine if I got that opportunity and they
Yeah.
were like,
No, you have to choose.
Yeah.
Because I
nah.
had that question in my head this entire time. Like, what is he gonna
they're
choose,
super
man?
cool with
Yeah.
it. They're super cool with it.
That's
like,
nice,
Because
yeah.
at the end of the day,
But if you
were to become famous and then you were like, yeah, and fuck my uni.
UWA, exactly. It ends
Yeah,
up,
they fucking, I'd be like, and shout out to my uni, and then for them, they're just
they've
like,
helped me with this opportunity, and now I can go back and do psych in my
they'd
own
be
time.
stupid to prevent that. Like, why would they? That whole automotive culture should
That's
fuck
smart.
off. It's like
That's good.
we're in a day and age where we can make things work, bro.
Yep.
Like we've got eye tracking technology that
Yeah.
literally, like, use whatever the fuck you want on me. Let me tour.
Yeah.
Hey, Leo, how long have we gone for?
We've been going for 2 hours and 17 minutes.
All right, I think we might have to
Festival.
wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap her up.
Cheers for coming on, Rami.
No,
Really
thanks for having me.
appreciate it. It's great
This
to see you.
was actually
Yeah.
so fun. This is my first podcast ever being on.
Nice.
I was
This will
actually a
be
little
the first
nervous.
of many podcasts.
Yeah, I want to be what's his name on Rogan's? I want to be like Joey Diaz on Rogan's.
Yeah.
Like once every like 30 episodes or whatever, just like, let me tell you about my last weekend.
This is definitely not happening. No,
it is.
Yeah, cheers for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next time.
Peace out, y'all.
Yeah.